we're gone.
Fantastic. Under the vast open skies of the Chogoris steppes, a warlord rides with unyielding determination. His jet bike, swift and deadly, carry him across the endless sea of grasslands. Clad in the polished red and white armour of his legion that gleams under the moonlight, he leads his company of warriors with a fierce gaze, the wind whipping through his braided topknot, his cyberhawk crying in defiance of the stars above him. The horizon stretches infinitely before him, a testament to the boundless ambitions of the Legion. Each hum of the mighty jetbike's engine echoes the promise of conquest and the unrelenting spirit of a Legion destined to shape the course of history. If that floats your boat, then boy, have we got a show for you tonight. Yes, welcome to Edge of Empire, Episode 2 of Year 9. And tonight, as you could guess from the rather elaborate intro, we're diving into everything about the White Scars, where we'll explore the rules of the Legion, their war gear, rites of war, and key units. And of course, we'll wrap things up nicely with our OG list challenge, where we each put our spin on our own Sons of the Chogoris step plans. Joining me, as always, is my colleagues in arms, my comrades, my brothers, one Mr. Michael Bottrell, Esquire.
Oh.
And, of course, my actual brother, Chris.
Good evening, everybody. Or good morning.
Good morning, or wherever you are in the
Wherever
world.
you are.
We enjoy your company. So, yes, as mentioned, we will be talking all things White Scars. So, why play the White Scars?
Just very quickly, wonderfully evocative intro. I very much enjoyed that. That was very good. It was very nice.
Well, I thought, why not? Why not? I mean, then that's the thing, right? The White Scars actually does segue quite nicely into that. I think if that's your kind of thing, there's a definite good imagery that goes alongside the Legion. Some of the Legions maybe, they're a little bit murky, or they maybe don't have quite such a strong identity, but you definitely can't say that about the White Scars.
No.
They absolutely have a very clear identity. And again, when you think about jet bikes, when you think about speeders, when you think about hit and run tactics, that's your first port of call. So, yes, I think that's why a lot of people play it. There's some cool stuff you can do. They've got obviously a lot of links in with this sort of Mongolian kind of ethos, on the steppes. But also, they cross over a little bit maybe into sort of more sort of Japanese as well, with some of the weaponry and things that they use. And the armor, for example, has a little bit of a nod towards that sort of samurai.
Sort of a Northern Asian kind of vibe, isn't it?
Absolutely. And again, that's super cool. And it gives the Legion a really cool identity, I think.
Yeah.
So, why don't you kick off, Michael, with what we think about the White Scars?
All right. The White Scars, one of the most iconic and dynamic legions in the Horus Heresy. Known for their lightning-fast strikes and relentless mobility, they are headed by Jagatai Khan, the master of speed and precision. Their heritage traces back to the nomadic and warrior-centric culture on Chogoris, a world steeped in traditions of mountain combat and guerrilla tactics. A background that shapes their preference for that lightning warfare, and speed and surprise are paramount. They're distinctive for their ability to strike swiftly, hit hard, and retreat before the enemy can respond, embracing hit-and-run tactics that often leave their opponents disorientated and vulnerable. Their armies are built around bikes, jet bikes, and cavalry, making them the fastest force in the Imperium, capable of overwhelming enemies with sheer speed and force. They excel in highly mobile, high-intensity raids, often supported by Stormseers, their unique psychers, who bring foresight and psychic insight to their devastating assaults. In battle, they don't wait for the enemy to come to them. They initiate the fight, taking advantage of their unparalleled mobility to choose where their engagements take place, making them experts in flanking and outflanking, overwhelming the enemy before they have time to react. Their style is not about grinding down the enemy in prolonged engagements, but instead about striking decisively and making every single moment and movement count. And today we'll delve into what makes the White Scars such a deadly force during the Heresy, their combat style, and the role they play in the conflict.
Well, there we go. Didn't they have a particularly kind of narrative bit in one of the Siege of Terror books? Of course, me being me, I haven't read them, but I've kind of heard through, anecdotally, that there's quite a cool bit with the White Scars.
The White Scars and Valdor jump on some jet bikes and ride out effectively.
Nice. To sort of like break the siege kind of thing. They
kind of getting
old school cavalry charge.
Obviously, there's Death Guard on one of the walls, isn't it?
Yeah, and obviously they have the book where the Khan and Mortarion have a set to, which ends in a somewhat difficult situation for a certain goatee, bearded, long-haired chap. And if you haven't got that far into the books, I'm not going to give away too much. But
spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert!
But I mean, it's quite an evocative image, isn't it?
Yeah,
them riding out and sort of break a siege. I mean, it's you can just sort of, even saying it, you think, I bet that would look really cool.
Yeah,
like streams of jet bikes and what have you. Going out of the doors of the palace to sort of break up the chaos lines. Old school Ride of the Rohirrim style.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly which book it is now. It's
might be the third book, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
So I mean, along the short of it is, they have some business about them in terms of narrative, which is quite cool. All right. So what about the rules then?
Sorry, my voice is playing up. So, their Legion trait is a nice and simple one, nothing too crazy. They get an additional 1 inch to their movement characteristics. Some of the units that they have already have that taken into account. So you can't then add sort of another cheeky one to give yourself 9 inch movement. But it makes all your standard Marines sort of have an 8 inch move, which is great because then you get a bonus to your charging.
You do. I mean, is it
always fun?
Is it a great? I mean, it's an easy one. You don't have to think about it. Where would you rate this in terms of sort of Legion traits?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, extra movement is great.
I mean, it's no
for how I like to play.
Yeah.
Hey, look, give me an extra inch, and then give me a +1 to my. It's a thing I've said many a time.
Which, of course,
often while in church. Give me an extra inch and a bonus to charge.
Yeah, absolutely, and away you go.
And that's always the real thing. I think it defines it and makes it that bit better than I would say most of them. Is you get an additional dice when you're seizing initiative, and you discard the lowest of the dice.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good, actually.
I think, the movement thing is good. The seize roll bonus is just that, super.
I mean,
super good.
It's not as good as some. I mean, it's not as good as the Ultramarines. Even the Sons of Horus one, I think, is slightly better. But the thing is, I suppose the Sons of Horus one is only the first round of combat, whereas this is all of the time.
Yeah.
But it's not like right up top tier with like World Eaters or.
No, but I think
Imperial Fist, but it's not a bad one, I think.
No, and for what they are about, it fits the theme, and it does it in a way that isn't clunky or there's no negative to it.
Yeah,
often when you're right. Rules for theme, it's X does Y, but
Z comes along and kicks you in the balls, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nips around the corner, wish you a swift kick.
Takes your wallet. And
there's no real disadvantage to it. It's an all-round decent trait that does pretty much what it says in the tin. I don't think there's anything to complain.
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay, so you're right. Everything has a move +1, including vehicles, I guess, so they can move an extra.
As long as it's got these are Astartes.
These are Astartes, which they do have. All right. Well, let's have a quick look at their advanced reaction, which is somewhat humorously called Chasing the Wind, For all the stop
This is a
stop laughing at the back, Jones.
Second time we've recorded this.
I know
particular
it is,
episode,
but it still
and
makes
that
me
is
laugh.
still funny. It's still funny.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, so that's their advanced reaction. So what does it do? Well, lightning strike or swift retreat. Why not both? According to Mr. B's notes, once per game, when an enemy unit finishes a move within 12 of one of your White Scars units, every friendly unit, friendly, I think it's the key word there, actually, not Legion Astartes, within 12 of that enemy may make a normal move, including activating jump packs, but it cannot run. All terrain penalties and movement restrictions apply, and units that normally couldn't move still can't use this reaction. So if you've got something that's immobilized or whatever, it still can't move. At first glance, this may not feel as flashy as some of the other Legion reactions. It's certainly better than the Sons of Horus. But don't be fooled. This is pure tactical gold. So there are no restrictions in which direction you move, which again, super useful. Meaning your opponent's always left guessing. So if they rock up in their Spartan full of what are they? Ravagers, and discord them, and then they get out 6 inches or whatever, getting ready to charge your hapless jetbike squad, you can just go, nah. In the movement reaction, in the movement phase, you can just get them moving 15 inches in this case. The hell, 17 inches or 18, 19 inches, I can't remember what it is, away in any direction you like, which of course means they're going to be out of charge range and could put you in a better position for the next turn. So it is once per game, but it's still a pretty good reaction, like you say.
It's 17 inches on a jet bike, which is...
It's not shabby, is it? I mean, you're going to get away from pretty much anything.
Pretty much almost 2 feet away from whatever.
Yeah, or, I mean, if you think about it, you can also go forward 17 inches and get yourself in charge range next turn.
Well, backwards isn't the only option.
Yeah. Will you search forward to counterattack or pull back to night charge and maybe split your forces? So yeah, use it well, and you will embody the true spirit of the White Scars. Fast, unpredictable, and always one step ahead.
I mean, you could use that really cheekily to kite your opponent around. I know it's a one-time thing, but if you think, oh, hang on a minute, I don't want.
I mean,
that Terminus, there are those Ravagers getting too close. I'll jump over them and
force them to charge further away from your from the objective,
or go backwards, like Chris says. Pull them off objectives, if you excuse the expression, and go, do that kind of thing. So there is that, or even you could swap. It doesn't say that they have to go. All of the units have to go in the same direction, right? So you could swap one not so great close combat unit with a very good close combat unit. Which would again
Hessian in place of a unit of scouts.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they can't run, so they're not going to be too far. But yeah, it's still not a bad one, I think, and it's got a time and a place for such a thing.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right,
okay,
cool.
Warlord traits. So the first one is only for loyalists, which is obviously very interesting. This Legion, it does emphasize the fact that they have a bit of a this was something we talked about last time, but then we lost the recording. But sorry,
there is no equivalent army in the traitors stable.
Nope,
if you will.
If there was going to be, in terms of thematic lore, I think it would be the Emperor's Children. But they don't.
I've never really associated them with jet bikes, to be honest with you. But
I think the Emperor's Children are, in terms of their martial ability, like their aim for martial perfection, are kind of more akin to the Blood Angels in that respect.
Maybe it's me going back to the days of old when we had Doom Rider.
But one model doesn't make an arm.
Yeah, but it was sort of like at the time, this is like second, third edition, there was like a big emphasis on Emperor's Children on bikes.
Okay.
Anyway, so
they used to have Emperor's Children with guitars, didn't they? They were very cool. Can you still get that model? I think they re-released it, didn't they, a few years back?
Yeah, they did, but I think he's not available anymore. But they're just releasing new ones, but they aren't quite as cool with guitars, which is a bit of a shame.
Okay. So
they look like weapons, so they're coming anyway for pre-order this Saturday. Go Film and Games if you want that.
Anyway, we're not talking about Emperor's Children. Yeah. So let's. So anyway, there is no equivalent in the Traitor's army, where some armies you can go, well, they're kind of like Alpha Legion, Raven Guard, for example. There's some crossover there.
Yeah, Blood Angels and World Eaters.
Yeah, exactly. Iron Warriors, and they're completely peerless, so nothing. But maybe at a push, the Imperial Fists, if you're feeling generous, but there's kind of counters for each of them.
Yeah. Then again,
but not for the White Scars. And I think that's why they have
in the books so far. The biggest legion that they come up against, the one that they come up against most is the Emperor's Children.
Right. Okay. I suppose it does make some sense.
They do go up against the Death Guard quite a bit as well, though. So
yeah, I was going to say there's a fairly serious couple of chaps that
Mortarion and Angron have a bit of a bit of fisticuffs in the ruins of Tiska. Anyway, so heroes never die, loyalists only. Die hard, literally. Your warlord and any unit he joins gains stubborn, which is really good. But when he dies, every friendly unit that had a line of sight to him at the moment of death gains fearless. And on top of that, while he's alive, you get an extra reaction in the assault phase. And let's be clear, army-wide fearless is insanely strong, making this trait a proper game changer. So much so that you might find yourself tempted to strategically yeet a cheap warlord like the Opate straight into enemy fire, ensuring he dies in full view of the enemy, the entire army, so they get fearless. Is that a brilliant tactical maneuver or absolute galaxy brain stupidity? That's for you to decide. But
depends if you want to evade or not. Because if you want to evade, it's a very bad idea. What was that, Mr. B?
Fortune favours the bold.
Okay. It does, you're right. And I guess I wouldn't say, I mean, it's yeah, you decide really. I mean, I would say it's not a bad thing. But then you've already lost the victory point for getting your
true
HQ murderized. So
it's a victory point for fearless.
Would they yeah, but I guess then Ben Mudd, if he dies, the unit would, assuming the unit isn't completely annihilated as well.
Yeah, if it's precision strike or precision strike.
Yeah.
Shove him out in front of it. No unit, cheap uptake, 40 points. It doesn't matter the Khans in your army. You've got that little cheap 40-point warlord that's just going to go out and say, "Hey."
Khan would have to be the warlord, unfortunately, Mr. B.
Yeah, true. Okay, then.
Nice try.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose actually,
sacrificing people.
I think actually, I mean, I suppose, yeah. I'm trying to think. Do chaplains get stubborn by default? Because that would be probably more useful, if you see what I mean. Because keeping stubborn around is useful. Fearless is handy, but not. It is useful.
Yeah, but if you got a chaplain, so chaplain gets stubborn and hatred everything.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, what's the next one, Chris? So I'm a bit 50 on that one.
Yeah. Born to the Saddle. Who fit like a Khan? Your warlord and all White Scars carry units in your game, ignore difficult terrain, and get a 4+ invulnerable save.
I can't help singing "Drop It Like It's Hot" to "Who Fit Like a Khan."
Well, yes.
There's
not going to engage in such frivolous behaviour.
Okay. Who fit like a Khan? Okay. Go on, sorry.
4+ invulnerable save against the greatest enemy known to man and marine dangerous terrain tests. And that is forever, even if the warlord bites the dust, while he's still kicking yours to get an extra reaction in the movement phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for this army, an extra action in the movement phase means you've got 2 chances of putting off your special advanced reaction, I guess. But yeah, movement phase is generally the one that I tend to avoid, unless I've got no choice.
And vulnerable saves against difficult terrain tests. Dangerous terrain tests, sorry.
Don't you get an armor save against dangerous terrain tests anyway? Or is it just a wound? I can't remember.
I think you always get.
I think it's
save
if you lose it.
Have a look for you there.
Yeah.
All right. While he's doing that, do you want to move on to the next one, Graham?
Yes, I totally shall. So this is Forgotten Sons. Traitor only as well. So marvellous. Brotherhood with a catch, according to Mr. B's little segue there. Taking this warlord trait means that you must bring an allied detachment of Sons of Chogoris. Yay.
So
in return, sorry, Chris.
no, go. Dangerous terrain tests. No armor, save, cover, save, or damage mitigation roll mode.
There we go.
But you got to roll a d6 and take it on one.
So it's okay. In addition, your warlord or any unit he joins can auto pass pinning and morale checks. That seems useful, as long as they have line of sight to their Sons of Horus allies. As a bonus, your warlord can use the Death Dealer's reaction once per game for free. Goodness me, even though he is a White Scar. Sounds great, right? Well, of course, whenever you have the Sons of Horus kicking about, there's a catch.
There is a catch.
And this is the big one. While the Sons of Horus, lovely chaps that they are, consider you, White Scars, to be sworn brothers, you, however, only see them as distrusted allies, meaning they can't hold objectives. So while you bring them, they won't be helping you win the mission. Why does this warlord trait doesn't fix that? No one knows. Maybe Horus still holds a grudge. It's a very weird one. Actually, I suppose it's the Khan, but it's a weird one, right? Because you'd think, oh, great, I can put Sons of Horus delegatus or whatever in with a squad of White Scars, and everyone's a winner then, right? Because wherever the White Scars goes, the Sons of Horus will be there. But you can't, because they're distrusted allies, so they can't even get close to each other without causing bother. So yeah, that really does suck.
Yeah, when I first looked at that, I was thinking, oh, maybe a warmonger with some Justarin for a bit of deep striking fun. But it becomes really, really difficult to do anything with them with that.
Yeah. And the Death Dealer's reaction is not all that. Basically,
it's all right.
And it's not.
But
all
yeah,
that.
it's
basically return fire for one unit at ballistic skill 5. So, not all that. But anyway, such is the way of the world. But it sounds really good, doesn't it? But, auto pass pinning, a useful thing.
Yeah.
But again, the Sons of Horus allies having to be in the sight means that unless you're bringing Sons of Horus on jet bikes, you're soon going to lose sight of them, I suspect. And so as such, your warlord trait goes out the window. So they're actually, none of them are really stand out. Maybe Hoof It Like a Khan probably wins, but even that's not, it's quite situational.
I quite like, I still quite like Heroes Never Die.
Heroes Never Die, I think, is probably the strongest of the three, to be honest with you. Because at worst, you get stubborn.
Yeah.
For your HQ unit, and that's no bad thing. Okay, cool. What about the wargear then?
All right, they got some pretty good wargear. My favourite is the Cyberhawk, the first one we're going to talk about. 10 points. Any independent character can grab one. Sorry, Chris? You were...
Just thinking. With the Forgotten Sons one,
yes.
Would it make any difference if the White Scars with the trait were an allied attachment to Sons of Horus? Because Sons of Horus would see them as...
Yes, this one you've got
brothers.
to take an allied detachment, so they have to be in an allied...
You must, they've got to be the primary detachment, and you have to bring an allied detachment to Sons of Horus, not the other way around. Yeah. Good try.
Just thinking if there's some way of...
Some loophole.
Yeah, something useful.
Okay.
Nope.
Alas, no. Okay.
No, shame, really. Okay, so Cyberhawk, 10 points. Any independent character can snag one of these and mark a unit within 24 inches each turn, which lets the character and any unit they've joined reroll hit rolls of 1 against the marked target and add +1 to charge when you're charging them, obviously. The range has got a solid buff compared to last edition, but the charge got a bit of a hit. Still, extra inch stacks nicely with your army-wide +1 movement, so it makes it really easy to help set up those charges. I think it's a pretty decent piece of wargear for...
I do too.
10 points.
10 points bargain. I mean, particularly if you combine him with a Master of Signals and a Cognoscignum, and then shoot anything, like if you've got a heavy support squad, anything that's within 24 on 2s with re-rolling 1s.
Yeah,
when you absolutely have to kill everything on the board, basically. That's how you do it, as long as they're within 24, of course.
Yeah, Master of Signal with a Cyberhawk is really good.
Yes, it is. Totally. So, yeah. And again, even having them for the +1 movement, for the +1 for the charge range, for the +1 to the charge result, rather, Yeah, that works super well as well, I think. And again, in an army that's already got plenty of pluses, they're not going to miss too many charges, one would assume. You could do some pretty ludicrous, be within 12 and still only need a 6 to actually get to charge distance.
Yeah.
With shenanigans.
Shenanigans are always the way to go.
Really good.
What about the shenanigans?
Actually, I've got a question. See if you guys... And I couldn't find the rules to this one. But as we're on the subject of charges, and maybe it's one for next episode's Aunt Sally, the hold the line reaction, where you make a charge disorganized, do you have to do that on the first thing that charges you? I couldn't find it. I'm sure it is somewhere. Anyway, if you don't know off the top of your head and say, "Oh yeah, I've got this rule,"
can you make a reaction when someone's in combat with you?
This is the question: is do the charges all happen at the same time, and then you go to the kind of assault phase, or do you? I can never remember the order. Do you have to do all the charges and then do all the?
Back in the day when it came to Overwatch, and I don't know if this applies now. The thing was, especially with some armies, the crack was you charged them with something you didn't mind getting Overwatch with, like you might charge with Terminators, or something with good armor you would then
Dreadnoughts is the classic. You charge with a Dreadnought first. And then Overwatch, and then they shoot you with the Overwatch, and then
you charge him with the sort of slightly less survivable unit. So I don't know.
Okay, so here you go. During the assault phase, the reactive player may react when an army unit declares a charge targeting a unit they control. Once the active player has resolved all the charge rolls, so say it's you two playing a game. So once Mr. B's made all his charge rolls,
so that will be for all of the units charging.
All of the units charging. Whether successful or not, but before any models are moved as part of either a charge move or a surge move, the reactive player may choose to expend one of their reactions for that phase to have the unit targeted by the charge either Overwatch or hold the line.
So that would imply, if I've got that right, you declare all the charges and then you choose which one you either Overwatch or disorganized.
That sounds
I thought that was the case. Okay, good to know. Thanks, Chris. Well, that's that resolved. Well, just for people who are at home, what page is that on? So that I can make a copy of it.
It's 330 in the main rulebook under full reactions.
Thanks, man. Lovely. It's one of those things. It's one of those overhand things, right? Because, like I say, in the previous edition, you couldn't do that. But that looks like we didn't. Yeah, we only had Overwatch. It seems like now you should be able to choose your poison.
Yeah, I would say you choose.
Lovely.
Very much a case of the more you know.
Absolutely. Okay, so Cyberhawk we've talked about. Very cool thematically as well, if I must say. I don't know if you've ever seen the pictures or the video of people on the steps with golden eagles.
Oh yeah,
fantastic, right?
Looks really cool.
Hunting with golden eagles, amazing stuff. So yes, what about the next one on the list?
Going to be me, isn't it? Sorry. Yep. Right. So we have the Power Glaive. This weapon took a notable hit compared to its last
Nintendo Power Glove.
A controller from back in the mist of time. I bet if you had one now, I bet they're worth a few quid though.
Oh yeah. Terrible controller though.
Yeah, terrible controller, but worth a few quid still.
Anyway, right. Losing any ultimate profile for hero killing, it is 5 points more than a standard power weapon. You get +1 strength, and you get AP3, but it only has breaching 5+ instead of the reach of Power Lance. But I was thinking about this.
Go
on. No, ignore that completely because the Power Lance. I'm thinking of the other Lance, so he does one attack.
Gotcha. So, but the Power Lance doesn't have breaching, does it? Or am I? Is it rending 6 or breaching?
It's rending, I think. Man looks up 900 thing of those. I'm glad I've got
prepared for this kind of stuff.
I'm glad I've got all the pubs on easily clickable.
Well, actually, in the game I had last night, I actually used a Power Lance for the first time ever.
How was that?
It was a revelation, actually.
So Power Lance is just +1 strength, AP3, reach 1. So
Power Lance, you're never going to be AP2. So okay. So the glaive is not bad.
It's not bad.
I mean, 2/3 of the time you get an AP2.
Yeah, I mean that's what your paying that 5 points for, isn't it?
Mm.
You're not
For
getting
5 points. Yeah. I mean, I suppose wounding on 3s against normal Marines, and with the chance of knacking them, a lot of them, I think, and a few attacks, you could do a job.
I quite like the power lance. I think modelling it is on the standard Marine is kind of a weird thing. I just love the idea that they're kind of running around some sort of Monty Python-esque.
They've got kind of like a cool so in the new thingammy set, the melee set, they've got a cool kind of two-handed sort of stabby down approach.
Oh, okay.
It looks really cool, actually.
Yeah,
I was actually impressed with it. It's a bit like the same. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's definitely a sort of Spartan-esque, 300-esque stab with a spear,
Okay,
rather than just sort of running around waving it in front of you. So yeah, it does actually look pretty cool. Quite a pain to model because I didn't realise that actually that's how it went, because there's no. Well, there is instructions, but I don't worry about those things.
What's this bit of paper in the box? No need for that.
All these strange pictures. What do I need those for?
I can use my brain pictures to work it out.
Absolutely, no problem. But anyway, so according to Mr. B, so here's a problem from Mr. B. Go on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. I realised that you're doing this, not me.
No, that's right. Breaching 5+ isn't reliable for carving through 2+ saves, whereas as an AP3 weapon, it's outclassed by power mortars, power lances. Nope.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Chris on this one, if I'm honest.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll be honest.
I've ruminated on it in the days since, and I just think breaching power mortars are great. Yes, you have +2 strength, so you're wounding.
And it's AP3, not AP4, as I've been labouring under in misapprehension for years.
But power mortars can never be AP2.
Correct.
So you're hitting harder. Your opponent is still getting the same amount.
Lovely 2+
It's
save.
always going to get that 2+ save.
Yeah.
There is always the possibility. It may only be a very slim possibility that you're going to make them roll a 5+ invulnerable save.
Yeah.
And take that cheeky wound. And I think that's
worth
much
doing.
Better than being able to wound more. That little bit better is great.
Yeah.
But it's
I think it's much better.
AP is the thing you want to worry.
Because the thing is, if you've got power maul, all you can go up against is things without Terminator or 2+ armor.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this gives you the option to go up against your Marine equivalents and make a mess of them. But also, if you're having to go toe-to-toe with some Terminators, and bear in mind the Terminators may be using power fists, thunder hammers, slow weapons, chain fists. You could, even with a 4+, even with a initiative of 4, you will still hit them before they hit you, which does give you a chance of killing some before they can smush you.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Mr. B, that it's... Yeah. But, and also, breaching 5+, plasma guns their plasma weapons will breach 4+.
Yeah.
And they still, I know there's that, the maths are different, and there are going to be maths people shouting at their listening devices or viewing device at this point. But it's not.
I can just imagine the maths people being in a 1930s black and white with a pipe and an old Bakelite radio.
If they're not playing, that's the way
these fools talking about. I say, Jeffrey.
That's the math hammer crowd. That's exactly
Mr. St. John Smythe. I have to write a letter to the Radio Times complaining about these buffoons.
Yeah, give me my jacket.
It's my smoking jacket.
Give me my angry slippers. Someone needs a damn good thrashing.
Damn good thrashing with a copy of The Sporting Life.
That's it. So yes, fellow math hammer players. Yeah, I think it's better than power lots and power moves.
I'm with you on that one. So, Mr. B, you're unfortunately outvoted on this one.
Fair enough.
Nice try, though. I like how you put these controversial little tidbits in to fire up the collective discussion on purpose, obviously.
Okay. What's next, Graham? Then
Oh no, well, but there was some. We haven't quite finished this because
there is still some more.
Yeah, there's some stuff about weapon. The only weapon skill 5 unit that can take them is Quinzar's command squad, which is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that is limited to 5 models, which was a bit of a shock when I decided I was going to take it. Meanwhile, 2 weapon skill 4 units that can have mass things, barring ICs from joining. So no chaplain to grant hatred for extra vulnerability. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, That is also true. You can grab an extra melee weapon or pistol for +1 attack. But even then, it's barely better than, according to Mr. B, which I don't agree with, better than a charnable saber.
Just a
Yeah.
a brief moment. So the Ebon Keshig,
Yes.
have the Kara special rule.
Correct.
If you take the Sagazar Mazan,
Yes.
every infantry model gets that
Correct.
special rule. So you could put a chaplain with them.
You could, yeah. Absolutely. 100%. So yeah,
Just saying.
as long as they all get it if you take that thing.
So yeah, you should have.
Yeah, totally. And everybody loves a chaplain. In fact, I don't leave home without a chaplain if I'm close combating.
I have never taken a chaplain.
Well, and that's why on the Saturday night of an event when we come back to the thing, you're throwing your models around the room, saying you're never going to play again. The game is completely broken.
I saved that
on that
attack monologue on the train.
on that attack, you rolled 15 twos rather than for 17 attacks or something that needed threes.
That sounds like
I internalized that rage on the train home from event.
Yeah,
and just stare at the person opposite me. Paddington Bear-esque hard stare.
See, I know that my rolls are going to be terrible.
Yeah.
And so that's why wherever I can,
that's it.
I always will try to give a re-roll because my rolls are so bad. And I figure if I roll bad twice in a row, well, then that's just, the gods messing with me. Fair enough. So if I can take a chaplain for a close combat squad, I always will. Anyway, the next piece of special gear is the Shamshir jet bike. So this is a low and slow ride, according to Speak. Makes it sound like a very cool sort of custom Harley Davidson. The White Scar's unique jet bike trades speed for durability. So clocking in with a movement of 15, which is no slouch, let's be honest.
Oh, no.
It is slower than a standard scimitar, but bumps the rider's armor save to 2+. What would you rather have? Is it 18 move or 19 move or 15 move with a 2+ save? I would take a 2+ save every day.
Yeah, those 3 inches in that instance, I'm not like because I might go 18 inches, but also I may not survive those 3 inches. And I'm gunned down by dropping my 3+ armor save.
Absolutely. So instead of a heavy bolt in them, it packs the Scatterbolt launcher, which is a Strength 5 AP4 template, so flamer template, with shred and pinning, making it, according to Mr. B, great for reliably wounding enemies and forcing pinning tests, even if you don't rack up the kills. I'm not quite convinced about that.
I think, I like it on the Golden Keshig. I think them not being able to make any reactions, I think is super useful for that particular unit.
Yeah, the problem is if you're going up against something that you probably want the Golden Keshig to go into. A heavy bolt's got a nice long range. It means you can have a little tinkle and then go in later. So I get where you're coming from. I mean, Strength 5 on a template, unless somebody's been very unfortunate with their placement, you might get 2 or 3 models and yes, you are wounding on 3s, but they're still going to get a 3+ save if they're on Marines. So but there's a chance, right? There's a chance
5 in the squad.
Them,
those 3 models are racking up to 18.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're going to at least wound 1, right? And then they're into pinning territory. So fair play. That said, every independent character can take a bike already has a 2+ save, which is a very good point. So you're really just swapping speed for a different gun if you're taking it as a piece of war gear. So you won't be keeping pace with Sky Hunters, that's true. They'll have to reduce their movement accordingly. But you're slotting perfectly with Golden Keshig in any unit rocking a spar for combat. Think of it as a tankier, more methodical ride, low and slow, big hog, rather than the lightning fast Kawasaki of the Sky Hunters. More relentless hunt, a weapon for a more elegant time.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I think with Golden Keshig, yes, great. But I think the point that you make there is I wouldn't take this if I had a character already, I'd just put them on a normal bike because the save would be just as good. The gun, I think, would be better.
Yeah, you got a better gun. I think you get a better gun. Yeah. Okay. Interestingly, they get their own special psychic discipline.
They do. I like this about them, actually. I think it's another cool thing in the army's favour that they've got their own special psyker.
It's
I like the
two
idea
powers.
of this.
2 powers. The first one is the Call of the Wind. Instead of moving, the psyker can grant Fleet 2 to all units within 6 inches, giving them a boost when all units with a model within 6 inches, which is really good because it's not wholly within. So that is brilliant.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
Giving them a boost when running, charging, and reacting.
So you can do it to multiple units, basically, if they're within 6, with a model within 6.
Okay. Yeah. Which is brilliant.
That is good, yeah.
You can even risk a psychic test to crank it up to Fleet 4 for an even bigger speed boost. And even if you get perils, you still get the weaker version. So not all bad. The Stormseer himself can't run when casting this, so I wouldn't stick him in the unit that you actually want to speed up. Also, since he's stuck in place, you can't recast it on the same unit's next turn. You can bring 2 Stormseers and have one cast while the other moves, but at this point, you're probably trying a little bit too hard.
I think you've got a good point. I guess if you had 3 squads, right, maybe the Golden Kashyyyk one with this attached, and then 2 Sky Hunter squads either side of it with a model within 6, that would be kind of cool. You could do that, right? And then get those 2 to blitz ahead and then hopefully engage in some sort of close combat the following turn, and then you can rock in behind and sweep things up if you need to. But yeah, I get your point that mind you, Fleet 4, does that also work for charge distance?
Yep.
So you could move and still cast it and then still get the Fleet 4 for charge, right? Unless I'm talking out of my behind, which of course, as we've demonstrated on this program many times, is likely.
Let me just double check Fleet for you.
Yes, please.
Okay. But I think
it's like having Stato doing the football, isn't it?
I'm whatever the lady is on. What's the show?
Countdown. Yeah.
Susie Dent. That's it. That's me.
I'm sure there's some fan fiction out there that it's very similar.
Fleet.
I think I've seen a podcast with her in it where she did actually see the fan fiction written about her, which was
I could only think. Unit creates animals with the Fleet 2 rule, add 2 to all run moves, makes +2 to distance moves part of the action, and add a 2+ modifier to any charge move. So yeah.
Fabulous. So actually that's not as bad as I thought. So you could cast it on your unit, obviously not run, but you could still add it to your charge distance, right? So that means, like I said, a 12-inch charge only actually requiring a 6 or less is technically feasible.
The Fleet would add +2 to all run moves it makes, +2 to all distances moves part of a reaction, and +2 modifier to each. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So that is better than I thought. So lovely.
It's really good. Really good.
Okay. So yeah, if you absolutely 100% want to make that charge, he's the guy. I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't know whether I would. Would you overcharge it unless I was like thinking I was going to get a? I suppose the problem is, of course, that because you're going so fast, the chance of you being out of charge range or having long charges is always going to be slightly slim.
Well, you've got 9. Say it's a standard unit anyway.
Yeah.
So you've got +1 from your 8-inch
white scars. Yeah.
White scars of it here.
Yeah.
So that's 5 inches basically.
Yeah.
You're adding on guaranteed.
And if you had a Cyberhawk on your independent character that was with you, that'd be another one. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to fail. I say that.
You say that, but we've seen it done.
Oh yeah.
Saturday night after an event, Valdor had a 3-inch charge. And a double 1.
No, just don't. I'm gonna have a drink now. Just can't manage.
I distinctly remember that. It was just.
Oh yeah. God. Many a time, Valdor has walked up to things, despite being a skirmish unit and despite having bonuses to a charge move on. Don't fancy it today.
Not today, thanks. I'm going to give them a chance. Okay, cool. So the other part of it is the unseen bolt, which is, So what's this do, Chris?
The Unseen Bolt. It's a strength 4 AP4 barrage, large blast with decent range, which I think can't remember what it really looked.
It was horrific. It was like 70 odd,
72 inches,
something crazy,
some nonsense.
Crazy. God, sounded like a thingamy then. What's his name? Oh, it's going to bug me now. Actor was in the sketch.
Actor.
No, that's the name of it.
Yeah, that's all the information I've gained. George Clooney.
No, he was in the Saturday Night Live sketch with the Blue Oyster Cult ripoff.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. Well done, 10 points. Crazy.
Of all the things picked up from Christopher Walken, you went with it.
That was anything that sprung to mind.
Oddly obscure.
It was kind of. It's a great sketch, though.
It is. I like him in that. I can't remember what the film is called now, but it's with the he's like the guy is like, put your hands up, I'm going to kill you. And he's like,
Wayne's World 2, for instance.
Pulp Fiction, for instance.
Pulp Fiction. Fat Boy Slim video.
He was trained as a dancer. He wasn't actually an actor per se. Anyway,
72 inches is the range, and it has shock pulse, which ensures any vehicles, dreadnoughts, and automata hit by it are reduced to snap shooting, making them less of a threat.
Super useful. You would have to do a penetrating hit, though, wouldn't you?
Yes, you do. And that's strength 4.
Strength 4. Good luck.
Good luck. But it's a blast. But side armor.
No, it would always be the side. Actually, it's even less likely. You can't even go for the rear.
You can't even store it. No.
It's still all right.
Don't. Come on. No unseen bolt up that door. Very much. Right.
Yep.
What's even more interesting is that it's a rare force weapon, meaning you can spend a psychic test to boost its strength and crack open whatever you come across.
Oh, there we go. That's the
which makes it still only makes it strength 8.
Strength 8 is not bad.
Yeah, so you're.
I mean, most things have a side armor 12, 11 for the sort of Predator clones, so doable. I mean, it's not going to do you any favors against the Spartan, or probably.
You're really fishing for that 6.
Yeah, you are. I don't know what happens against walkers, actually, whether it hits the side armor of walkers or whether it's if you've got. I've been talking about not obviously not dreadnoughts, but knights. I don't know whether they hit the side or the front. There's probably a rule there somewhere. I'll have a look and say.
But yeah, it's not a bad power, and honestly, if it's just not as good as Call of the Wind.
Yeah, but I mean, I can actually see it being quite useful if you go up against a tank army. You want to just make sure that Arcus or that Omega doesn't shoot the bejesus out of you. Or at least it does with snapshots, or even
it's definitely got uses in certain circumstances. It's just
super heavies.
Probably 90% of the time go for Call of the Wind.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the +4 potential to your charge is manna from heaven for this army. Okay, cool, nice one. All righty. So the next things is the rites of war.
Oh yeah, these are interesting.
Yeah, so the first one, and probably the most common one that you're going to see, is the Chogorian Brotherhood, which does, I think we did mention in our previous, it sounds a little bit like the band Enigma from the 1980s and their Gregorian monks chanting album that was very successful. You had to be there. I don't know why it was a thing, but it was a thing. I think it was probably the 90s.
Was it the 90s? I thought it was the 80s.
It could have been the 80s now you mention it.
Because the 80s had Enya and everything, and it was like,
I did.
Luckily, Enigma band is still in my Google search history, so that's
that's good.
Founded in 1990.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, the same sort of era, but no.
Yeah, I mean, Clannad, Enya, Orinoco Flow, Robin the Hooded Man from the Robin Hood series. Remember that?
Yes.
No,
it's like, but no, I do vaguely remember.
Tony Robinson, yeah. Or am I thinking?
No,
that was Maid.
That
was Maid Marian.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm thinking of another one. Sorry, whenever I think of
that was a good show.
Maid Marian's.
Tony Robinson was Sheriff of Nottingham.
Maid Marian and her merry men.
Yes. No, Robin Hood was like quite popular. It was on a Saturday afternoon. I say music by Clannad.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. It was
pretty mystical, actually. It was kind of cool. I remember the Seven Swords of Wayland being a thing, which was quite a cool concept. Very Dark Angels, if I want to put a segue back into sort of Arthurian legend-esque. Anyway, check it out.
Clannad were pretty cool.
Lovely job. Anyway, the Rite of War, before we got terribly tangented.
Only 26 episodes of Maid Marian and Her Merrymen. Only 20.
Is that right?
Four seasons, but only 26 episodes.
It's like Bagpuss, where there's like 3 episodes, but you think there's about 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, going on. Of course, we realise that conversation was very British. There's going to be like people across the world. What the hell was Bagpuss?
Everyone knows what Bagpuss is.
No, I bet they don't. I bet if you ask somebody in rural Louisiana who Bagpuss was, they would have a clue.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Probably hit you in the face for swearing.
If you ask someone in rural Louisiana, many things they don't know what they are.
Oh dear. Liberal elite once again.
Which we refer to not the stupidity of people from Louisiana, but rather the poor education system that is not their fault.
Exactly.
That's probably even more condescending, but yes.
You can watch Maid Marian and Her Merrymen on YouTube. So check it out. The Christmas special from 1989 is fully HD remastered.
Goodness me, would you believe it? Anyway, the iconic White Scars rite, as we said, built around bikes, speed, and unrelenting hit-and-run tactics. And in this edition, the Khan. Matt Berry-esque voice, the Khan.
The Khan!
The Khan! Lead his loyal warriors onto the battlefield in style. Sky Hunter and Outrider squadrons are now troop choices, also with the line subtype. So here we go. Now we're talking. So you've got very, very fast troops that are scoring. Fabulous. But they can also still be taken as elite. They just drop the line in that way. This means you can spam the Sky Hunters and Outriders. I'd probably do Sky Hunters over Outriders personally, to your heart's content. Whether you go for more melee power, according with Outriders, or better range guns, Sky Hunters, is up to you. However, because of the rights restrictions on heavy support, Sky Hunters usually become the go-to. Agreed. All infantry units now get the outflank rule, making your army even more mobile, but all infantry units not in transports and vehicles without the fast or transport subtype must start in reserve.
Yep.
So, yeah, rocking up with a couple of Sicarans, because they're fast-ish, they're not fast anymore, so they would have to go into reserve, regrettably. This means you can load up on Rhinos and Land Raiders if you want them to start on the board. For vehicle-grade firepower, consider Dreadnoughts, of course, because they can just be there, or take Sabres, which are fast vehicles that can start on the table, while giving you some much-needed shock pulse through the neutron blasters. I don't know. See, I think Sabres kitted out with just Volkites is pretty cool, because you can take Volkite everything. They are very, very, very breakable, I will say that, but they are very quite quick, and you can get... The problem is, would you take a Sabre or would you take a Javelin? And maybe we'll come on to that discussion later. No heavy support or fortifications.
A Javelin with blast cannons and multi-melter is pretty
good. Yeah.
We're talking about that a bit, so.
Yeah, no heavy support or fortifications with the flyer subtype. So say goodbye to your beloved tanks and heavy support squads. However, fire raptors, which I've not seen in this edition. Nobody's used one against me. In fact, I don't think I've had any
against you. Do I not count as an opponent? Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I think when you use it, it didn't actually turn up until turn 4, and by that point, it was kind of like we've got a game. Hey, bring a fire raptor.
You shot it down.
Oh, it did, didn't I? Before it even got off the starting line.
Fire raptor has not actually managed to get on the
board
without being shot down as soon as it arrives.
I think that says all that needs to be said about flyers. You could take 3 of them if you like. I mean, strength in numbers and just try and out. One of them's going to die to Interceptor. The other 2 might get through.
Bring them all at the same turn. It's kind of mental that the actual fact flyers are just so bad.
So terrible. There's no limit on the number of heavy supports. What? Right. So no limit to the number of heavy support slots. I.e., you can still take 3. So just to be clear, they can't take 1,000 fire raptors, unlike the last edition. So you're free to go big. And since there's no restriction on laws of war, you can always take a super heavy or 2. And again, when questioned this, Mr. B pointed out that Macariuses can be taken in squads.
Yeah.
assuming you can part with your Primarch. So yeah, Lord of War choices would not be. So you can take some shooting, but most of the Lord of War tanks are very expensive.
They are. I keep getting disturbed by Cassius today. He's
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
I assumed you had some sort of belly dancing outfit on below what we can see, so
Yeah.
I wasn't really paying it too much mind.
No, he likes his attention, and the girl and Lindsay and Megan are out visiting Lindsay's granddad, so
Okay.
he's come to me for.
Fair enough.
So,
The spare human, as they
I'm absolutely the spare human, but
yeah. Okay, so while you're mission heavy support squads, you can field lots of heavy weapons via Sky Hunter spam, which is true. Lots and lots of those. Heavy bolters, multi-melters, Volkite. And they can all take Volkite as well, I believe, can't they, Sky Hunters?
yes,
Yes.
they got
So
Volkite, plasma, and heavy bolters.
Oh, yeah, plasma. Yeah. A multi-melter, was it 1 in 3 for multi-melter?
Yeah.
It
They used to have
is-
a heavy support squad that could take all of everything.
They did,
so
didn't they?
Any model in the unit may replace its heavy bolter with Volkite Culverin, multi-melter, or plasma cannon.
It used to be
right.
in the old edition that Sky Hunters were 1 in 3 of anything other than a heavy bolter, and then
That's
they
right.
added the Sky Slayers, I think it was. Who
There
could
was
take-
a specific heavy support version,
it
wasn't
who
there?
could take
Yeah.
everything, but then they merged them in this edition so that they're basically Sky Slayers or whatever.
I think
Yeah.
because when I was doing the earliest there, I wondered why a certain choice had been made, and I wondered if that mindset had been rolled over
Gotcha.
into
Quite
that,
possible.
into those.
It's quite
choice.
possible.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
used to be 2 separate. Now they just essentially the heavy support version, but in the fast attack. Yeah.
But I guess the points kind of rack up, though, don't they?
I mean, it's 15 points for multi-melter, 10 points for plasma cannon, Volkite Culverin's 5 points. So you're looking at 45 points for one with a multi-melter.
That's not terrible, is it?
It's not terrible, but again,
And a
3 plus
Terminator
armor
would cost you
save.
the same. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, a Terminator would cost you less.
I suppose the thing is, the Terminator's going to get there. Whereas
You're right. You'd have to include the Spartan tax, which you could buy a lot of. You could buy a lot of Sky Hunters for that.
Whereas Skyhunters can probably get to within armor bane range.
Yeah, quite quickly.
Fairly rapidly.
Yeah, and so I mean that is a good tactic. I suppose the problem is dreadnoughts really. Because unless you had a lot of multi-melters, but they're only one-shot multi-melters, like one-shot twin link. They're not Gravis multi-melters.
No.
So anyway, it's a thing. It's a tactic for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, I think it's a good way of getting heavy weapons into a different slot as well.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Special shout out on this one. So your Miss Host mentioned the sabers can bring the heat if you're using the neutron blasters. Plenty of elites and fast attack options like laser destroyer rapiers, of course. Can they take laser destroyer rapiers? Oh, wasn't there some discussion about this? If they're then infantry type, they're not
auxiliary.
Yeah, so you can't take them, can you? Because they have to be in a transport, and they can't be in a transport. Is that where we got to?
That's where we got to.
That
Contemptors, Contemptors, Boxernauts, Sabres can bring the heat. I mean, a Contemptor with 2 Gravis las cannons. I mean, that's quite expensive, but it's still a pretty good shoe-in for a 10-man las cannon squad, right? Because they're hard as nails, great shooting on 2s, and lots of las cannons.
Yep.
And they can all start on the board because they're either fast or they're not vehicles. Special shout out goes to the Javelin. So it's fast, so it can start on the board, get up to speed quickly, and offers great value. Cheap, durable, and with 2 las cannons and a multi-melter, it can pack a punch. Plus, it's a fluffy choice for the White Scars, so you can't go wrong.
I mean,
because it's fast. Sorry, go on.
105 points for one multi-melter.
Decked out.
Decked out.
And it's quite a lot. I think I would probably. Problem is, 2 of them, you could get a las cannon. Double las cannon ish. I think 230 points, double las cannon Contemptor. So yeah, but I mean they're only 3+ save on the javelins now, aren't they? They're not vehicles per se. They are tough, but
they're pretty fast. I think that's the.
I mean, yeah, you can get up the board and be on the side armor or something early doors, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
I think we see. You know what? I think we'd see a lot more javelins in all armies, not just White Scars, if they were a plastic kit. But I think that's the same could be said for
No doubt.
pretty much everything.
No doubt at all. I mean, I wouldn't outflank them because outflanking is just basically saying, here's where you can shoot me to death next when I turn up. But they're fast enough to try and, because what you want them to do is to probably harry things like Scorpiuses, who are hidden behind the back line, just dropping templates on you. Great for dealing with them. Superb at that. So yeah, very good. But I think it's a cool rite of war. I've got to be honest. If you were taking all bikes, you could make a very cool thing.
It is.
It wouldn't be underpowered. I think you could put enough shooting in there and enough melee in there to make quite a balanced, very quick list.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is, I don't know about you folks, but if I have good line things, so I'm looking at you, Reaver Assault, right? So you use the Reavers and they get line, but then you're actually using the Reavers to do something, and that means that they die, and that means you lose your line because you're actually relying on your line thing to actually do some damage for you. So you put them in more harm's way than just a tactical squad, which you just bump on there and just not worry about. But yeah, I think with the range of these guns, they can probably just sit there and shoot.
Yeah, it's that using those line units to take the objective.
Yeah, rather than just hold the objective or sit on the objective.
To try and balance it out. It's like if you've got something that becomes line just because of the rite of war, that doesn't mean that has to be all of your line's troops.
I agreed. I mean, you could put some tactical marines in a Rhino, for example, for 135 points or whatever.
Yeah, and that's. I think that's something that people tend to forget. Just because something else becomes line doesn't mean that the good old tactical or the spoilers stop becoming line, and they are still really, really valuable. Although in this one, because they got to start in the vehicles or off the board, it becomes a little bit more.
Yeah, so you couldn't use assault troops, could you, for example, because they'd have to have a transport or come in on reserve.
But then again,
so you'd have to deep strike them.
Assault squads can deep strike, which is not something to be sniffed at. But then again, you've got Interceptor with those las cannon squads.
Totally. Okay. What about the next one then?
The next one is really good. I mean, as regards to Chogorian Brotherhood, if you were to say White Scars, that's the type of army you're going to think about. I think in 99% of cases.
The default.
The default. The Sagya Mazin is the next one. It's a ritual for seeking penance through honourable death after catastrophic failures or wrongs.
Or a very nice Korean barbecue. We haven't quite worked out.
It allows the Ebon Keshe cohort, which we'll talk about later, to be taken as troops, though their mobility suffers because they can't take Spartans, Storm Eagles, or Deep Strike. The right grants all non-unique infantry Karash, which is a form of bitter duty, and Feel No Pain 5+, making them a bit more durable, and allows independent characters to attach to the Ebon Keshe. It also stacks with Heart of the Legion, so your tacticals and your spoilers Feel No Pain 4, get Feel No Pain 4+. Units with Karash gain Fearless when charging, so they're a bit tougher in close combat, so they're going to stack. What else we got here? The right does have limitations, so no units in reserve, so you can't deep strike, you can't do any drills with the termites, no outflanking or flyers, and you can't take heavy support squads that aren't also infantry, and Jagatai and fortifications are excluded, so pretty much just heavy support squads. But Lords of War aren't restricted, so you can still bring that super heavy if you fancy wasting a lot of points. That's sad. That's still very sad. Super heavy's great. Yeah. Anyway,
they were every army I had a super heavy.
Yeah, a key
without fail.
Yeah, a key benefit is that all infantry in the detachment gain a free invulnerable apothecary, saving you points and protecting you against apothecary sniping. So you might go, yay, but you've got to buy and paint apothecaries now. But then again, they're free.
Yeah, they are free. 5+ in basic filler paint to everything is massive, I think.
So
the charge means you're going to be around if you survive, and you're going to stop that other unit for at least a turn.
And even units with bitter duty, like destroyers, can benefit from that. And Terminator squads gain Feel No Pain without needing a Primus Medicae, saving it HQ slots. No infantry unit will give the enemy victory points for their kills, so it's pretty good for denying points and frustrating them.
I think so.
But
I think so.
They will seem appealing But vanilla Tartaros Terminators get a similar benefit at a lower cost and with a little bit more versatility in this rite.
Better weapons. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And interestingly, it also allows Karash and Feel No Pain 5+ to apply to any infantry. So that's even your Phalanx cohorts, your Agents of the Emperor, or even some Sisters of Silence who you might want to. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Oh yeah, this one threw us through a loop when you told us about this. But yeah,
cavalry units don't get the bonuses, but don't get any penalties. So feel free to include them if that works for your strategy.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, the Phalanx already get Feel No Pain. It was 6+, not 5+. But yeah, even so, I think this is a pretty cool rite of war for a very specific iteration of an army.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be thematically. This is for like those who sort of seek redemption through death, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, because basically,
which I quite like, is that sort of samurai, sort of dishonored samurai thing going on there.
Yeah,
Hebu Khan, for instance, it's his cup of tea, and he's a guy that's out looking for redemption. Well,
basically, there's this sort of unbreakable vow that the White Scars can take in their culture, and if you take that vow, there's absolutely no way you can break it. And what happened was, during the whole treasonous bit with the Warrior Lodge, they had all their soldiers take this vow to join Horus. And then at the end they were like, well, I can't break the vow, I have to be loyal to Horus, and half of them got and that meant that they had to be executed. But for those that didn't, they were sent to the Sagyamazin and were told, right, you betrayed us, but you can make it up to us by dying in combat, of course.
Just that's one way of making things up to people, I suppose. There are probably better ways of doing it.
He was a bit of a git. Yeah, well, you know what? He died in combat. It wasn't so bad after all.
It says, though, it evokes that sort of samurai, I got to find
honor thing.
Yeah, honor, very much like that. Okay, so
I'd prefer a box of chocolates, or an
Amazon voucher would have been fine, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. Not throwing yourself at the enemy needlessly without any of your support choices. I mean,
no need to go straight into that warp storm, Bob.
That's it.
Just an Amazon voucher for £15. I would have forgotten all about it.
Jobs are given,
But
so
no,
what if you betrayed your morals and principles?
So you didn't bring back my ladder. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's absolutely fine.
All right, then. So, Rites of War wise, obviously, both of those are pretty good for once.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they both very
few ways to play the army. Let's put it that way.
Two very different chalk and cheese.
But I think both of them are not bad without too many downsides. So, or workable downsides that still make them kind of competitive. Put it that way.
All right. So, what about the next bit, the units?
On to the units. So we start off with the unit that the heresy has chosen to forgotten, which is the Inducti. White Scars Inducti are basically eager young warriors looking to impress their superiors. Come on, Bob. By taking down enemy elites. If you've got a unit of spoilers, they can be turned into Inducti. This means their sergeants have to trade their flashy power glaive for a little bit of a downgrade, but hey ho, it's worth it again. Proof of valor instead of Heart of the Legion, which gives them a cheeky 5+ damage mitigation when fighting enemies with a majority of weapon skill 5. If they survive, and big capital if underlined and in bold in the if they survive the turn without running away, you score a victory point. So yeah, it's a good way of victory point.
Pretty sweet, right? According to Mr. D's parlance.
I like it.
Yeah, I think when you look at units that are majority weapon skill 5, they're more likely to look at that squad the spoilers and go, yeah, sorry lads,
whatever.
Enjoy our 2+ armor save and
power weapons as a minimum with AP3.
Yeah. And we'll just have that. That 5+ damage mitigation actually beats the pants off 5. How many pluses what is a triple plus?
I don't know. I thought that was a 5++++, which is 5+ in run and then a 5+ feel no pain. But
I
you've
see.
got too many pluses.
There's
5++++.
all the pluses.
5++++.
Because it works even against instant death. However, there's a catch. Almost everything Webster fires probably wielding power weapons. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. In this, has survived the onslaught, I probably fail a morale check and get run down by sweeping advance. Yeah.
So yeah.
Just charge them at Tartarus Terminators. That's the way. That's the way to that.
Yes. And then they get their 5+ feel no pain, do they?
If it's a
Tartarus Terminators.
staring unit, they have weapon skill 5 and Tartarus armor, so they would get they wouldn't get sweeping advanced. So
they're in cataphractite, yes.
Yes, I always get this tier mixed in my head. Yeah. Yes, cataphractite armor.
Yep.
Then no sweeping advances. But they work pretty well with the SAG
command squad's weapon skill 5 as well. So
yeah.
terminate.
Command squads, but again, they're just gonna go.
Yeah.
Sure, losing Heart of the Legion and its feel no pain hurts, but fearless on the charge ensures you won't bail on you and helps you snag that victory point. Plus, you can use them as tar pit using Terminator Death Stars, as they're tough enough to resist strength at AP2 that these Death Stars tend to dish out. No.
There is that, I guess, if you are taking the Saga Mazan. Okay.
I think volume of attacks would be your.
You're right. Just snicker snack with a pair of lightning claws, and they're probably going to be in bits. So yes. Okay.
The best part is they don't break you to fearless. Your opponent finish them off in the second round. Fine. Or you stand there watching and probably blast them off the table with your other units.
Yeah.
Just so you know, no matter how many units you bring or how many times your inductor successfully prove their valor, you only get the one victory point at the end of the battle.
Okay, right, I see. So they get one. Okay, fair enough.
Yep, so it's one victory point, even if you bring 4 of them.
If they survive, so basically, is that just if you had 3 inducti squads, you could only get 1 victory point for the first time that happens. It's not per unit then.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm alright.
Right. Yeah, I think all the inductor. There's like a lot of rules, but not. It's all bark and no bite.
It's all
yeah.
Dark Angels, 3 Volkite charges.
Yeah. All shout but no trousers, as they say. So anyway, the next one, kind of one of the
Kashik.
Yes, let's bring up the
bring up the picture.
Oh, why is it not bringing it up?
Oh, technical difficulties for everybody at home watching in black and white.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I will.
Mr. B is the character on the left.
Gremlins entered. I watched Gremlins 2 the other day. I forgot how crazy that's
terrible. Oh, okay.
Not terrible, but I've forgotten quite how crazy it is. Yeah, I then said to Annie we should go as the talking gremlin and the lady gremlin for our next Halloween, and I managed to find there's a Etsy shop called Epic FX, and they do a full latex prosthetics for the lady gremlin.
That sounds like a site that's looking at very specialist needs. If I'm completely
no, it had other things. It had less weird things than that. But
do you fancy the female gremlin? Well, we've got the thing just for you and your partner to enjoy.
There's probably a bit of that, but that's not what I was there for. And
that's what I would say.
I am. So
it sounds like the politician from was that Harry Enfield or no? It was Little Britain, wasn't it?
It was.
I've put a little link into our little chat there. Feel free to click on it and have a look at the wonderful effects that they can provide.
A lovely bit of filling in there, Chris. By the way, I must say, oh my good God!
I know, right?
Heavens to Betsy. Okay, yeah, that's kind of nailed that then. Well, not obviously. When I say nailed, I mean. I mean, they've got the look right. I just want to kind of clarify that for all the listeners out there.
Yeah,
my word, that is.
The thing is, Annie went, yes, you can be the talking one. No, you can be the lady one. I'll be the talking one.
Okay, fair
Which
enough.
Yeah. Painted.
I wasn't necessarily against, but you know.
Oh no,
Dear
you
oh
can get
dear.
it painted for like 20 quid.
They have some very, very cool things.
This best not awaken anything.
A super cool Grinch as well. Just, you know, just to tangent this slightly.
Is it just a mask? You have to do the ears yourself?
I think the ears are included. Yeah, the ears are. Yeah, so you click on the fourth image down, it's the face and the ears.
Okay, we have to probably put this on our thing, Mr. B. So that people on the YouTube channel can. That's going to throw him, isn't it? He's not going to be able to put that screen share that bit in the middle, is he?
Hang on.
Let's see what I can do. Sure.
Otherwise, anyway, I mean, obviously, to be fair, already we've lost half our audience because most people listen to this on Spotify or Apple. So, you know, actually, it's not a big deal. We'll put it in the show notes, folks. Worry not.
Yeah, don't you worry. You'll
anyway,
get to see the weird gremlin.
Yeah. Anyway, if you are watching on YouTube, nice segue into our advertising. If you are watching on YouTube, you will now see a picture of the Evan Keshing from the Forge World site. Oh, sorry, the Warhammer site as it is now. Resin models look super cool, like really good. I think one of the finest looking Terminators out there. Unfortunately,
I got the cookie thing, so I can't.
You have got the cookie thing, yeah. So anyway, the Ebon Keshik, these are Tartarus Terminators. They're reliable but grumpy cousins at your family gathering. So thanks to the Kashash, their version of British duty, they can't join anyone else, not even Moritats. But they do get Feel of Pain 5+ because of the Kashash rule, saving you from wasting a Primus Medicae HQ slot. They start with the power glaives, which we talked about earlier, which we think aren't bad. But you can swap them for combi bolters and power weapons fists for more versatility. With weapon skill 4 and 3 base attacks, they're pretty solid. Plus, they're stubborn, leadership 10, so you know they aren't going anywhere anytime soon. But as always, there's a catch, right? 200 points only gets you power glaives. So you want anything else? You have to trouser over some extra points. 5 points per model for a combi weapon, power weapon, or 15 points for a combi weapon, power fist. With weapon skill 4 and Tartarus armor, they're not exactly powerhouse material. Stick with the power glaives we recommend, and they're decent at killing infantry, but the white scars have better options. Plus, they occupy a precious elite slot. For comparison, though, 5 Ebon Keshig, so that's 15 attacks on the charge, costs 275 points. Sorry, 5 Power Fist Ebon Keshig would cost you 275 points, whereas 7 Legion Tartarus with Power Fists, which also have 15 attacks, would cost you 270 points. Do they, though? Don't Tartarus have 2 attacks, Mr. B? Oh, that would be, 14, actually, that would be. Not 15. Unless a sergeant gets an extra one, which you might do.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
And they get independent character support and access dedicated transport. So, no, not the best bang for your buck.
And
ability of, and Thunderhammers, of course, which is, in this edition, super useful. Though the those power glaives do look very cool on the models. Mobility is another issue, so no deep strike and no dedicated transports means they're stuck foot slogging. You could, of course, get them a transport like a Spartan in the heavy support slot, but then you're taking down the heavy support choice.
We know Thunderhawk's the way to go. It's clearly the best.
Yeah, I just don't know how much more survivable a Thunderhawk is over a. It's going to cost you 700 points, and it's still going to get shot down the same way as a Fire Raptor, I think. But anyway, it's not ideal. A Stormseer could help, of course, with their movement, because they could run, but then you're leaving the Stormseer behind, which we talked about earlier. So they're not a top tier pick. Weapon skill 5 would have made them, I think, a little bit better.
Yeah,
they look great, but yeah, if you've got extra models, you can always use them as regular Legion Terminators, and just paint them white rather than black. For a more effective playstyle, consider the Kajorian Brotherhood. They can outflank, making them more mobile and dangerous, especially with Field of Pain 5+, 3 attacks and Leadership 10. I don't know. I wouldn't outflank them either, to be honest with you. I mean, that's probably, I get your point, that's probably the only way you're going to get close enough, but you are running some risks then.
I just think, compared to the other individual Legion Terminators, they seem like one of the worst. Don't have they got the power glaive's okay, but it's not what you want on Terminator.
Yeah.
You don't
I
want to
think-
be seeking 5+s to take out another Terminator.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see why. You could think, okay, they're kind of trying to discourage you from using Terminators and going more towards the bikes, but they've got a whole right of war that's kind of designed for this particular unit, if you see what I mean. So it's like they could have made them a little bit better, I think.
I mean, they will get a 4+ invulnerable save in
Will they?
that particular right of war. They have 5+ without feeling the pain anyway. So
Yeah.
does the Sagi and Mazin stack?
Mhm. I think so.
So they would get
No, they get the 5+ from the Keshar rule, which they get anyway because of the right of war. They wouldn't
okay.
double bubble it, unfortunately. So yeah, they would have a. Yeah, I see what you mean. Do they get a 4+ feel of pain? No, they don't, unfortunately. Because it doesn't stack.
Do they get it from the Keshar special rule?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they do. I
'Cause
don't think they have a 5. I don't think they ever have, unless it says on the, which it might do. So they got field of pain 5+, but either
Because
way,
they have it as part of their unit, their special rules, not as the Keshar is listed separately.
okay. In that case, yeah, maybe.
So-
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm talking nonsense then. So yes, but it doesn't stack anyway, unless it says it stacks. I don't think the Keshar rule stacks with it. If that makes any sense.
Mm.
no, but I'm wondering if does the find a way of making
So the Karash rather, not Keshar. Yeah, it gives them, and they get field of pain 5+.
Gain yeah, and the feel no pains per 5. Okay, so it's giving them a +1. Okay, no worries.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they are cool looking, and the power glaives are pretty cool. But like you say, Chris,
Yep.
they're against another Terminator squad, like a Just Aaron squad or something in that ilk, Alpha Legion,
Against
and
the Hurst.
Uh,
I know. I've
Pascal's.
got the blade. No, that's
yeah,
the,
the
that's
Alpha
the-
Legion Terminator squad.
Oh, Lanarian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They would probably be on the wrong side of that.
yeah. The Hurst
Definitely,
was
they'd be on the
with
wrong side against
Solarite
the
and
Phoenix, against the Emperor's children.
Salamander guys with their shields and their hammers.
Yeah.
They would. I mean, they're not.
They're
quick.
a little bit.
They've got that speed and the Tartarus element going for them, but what you're gonna put them against, and what you would want to put a Terminator squad against.
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't know if
be
they're going to achieve that goal.
I'm kind of with you on that one. Okay, cool. All right, so that's them. I mean, they do have stubborn. They are, which I think normal Terminators get indomitable.
Yeah.
They do have Feel of Pain 5+, and do have 3 attacks base, so 4 on the charge. Not terrible, but again, it's they against similar slotted units in other armies, they might struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
That will be me, and I'm going to talk about the Golden Keshig, who we just put up on screen there. These are on your Shamshir jet bikes, so fast, about 15 inches.
Every time I hear the Golden Keshig, it just reminds me of Harry Potter. I just think it's like the Golden Snitch.
gotta get the Golden Keshig one.
It's the Golden Keshig. I say, Hermione. Okay.
Okay, so they've got their Shimshar jet bikes, so they're the 15-inch ones with a scatterscar laser.
I bet they're Jonathan Ross's least favorite army.
Oh, probably. And they have Kontos power lances, so they are strength 10, AP 1, brutal 3, lance, and sudden strike 4. So that delivers a deadly charge with initiative 8. But they lack extra attacks for charging with 2 weapons, which is a shame. But that's a pretty dangerous strike from them. After the charge, chainswords take over. So, you don't really want to keep them in the fight. They want to hit and run really. An apothecary or tech marine can't join them, so they don't have that extra survivability. They are fast and maneuverable. They're good at clearing threats, but with T4 toughness, they're a bit fragile. hit and run lets them escape those bad situations, recharge, and get another shot at the charge. So go in, smack in your dreadnought, and then get out and hope you survive. So yeah, they can get another shot at their charge bonuses. They're 220 points for 5 bikes, so they're great for dealing with dreadnoughts, terminators, and automata, with AP1 and strength 10, making them pretty reliable at bypassing armor and any instant death immunity. But they're going to struggle with power fists, and while they're good at wiping out big targets, toughness 4 means they are going to fall down to firepower without pretty easily. I would take them with a chaplain personally. Just to boost their charge power and help with that hit and run. You can take a Forge Lord with them, so Cyber Familiar is going to help. Upgrades like a Primus Medicae is going to help, but they're pretty much a glass cannon.
That's a unit you want a chaplain with.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
I think. Yeah. I mean, bear in mind, you don't have to use the lances when you assault, so you can still use their power weapons and pay them, and use those in place of their chainswords when it's just an option to use the power lances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The key problem you face with this unit is if your opponent uses Hold the Line, which turns into a disorganized charge, in which case your lances won't do a thing, and then you're stuck with the chainswords.
Yeah, but successful. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, successful charge. So a disorganized charge makes an unsuccessful charge. So yeah, you'd be screwed. That does suck a bit. But like you say, you can still take a thunder hammer on the sergeant. Right.
Yeah. And
you can still do that. And power weapons, albeit 10 points a pop, probably worth doing, I would say. Or at least a smattering of both of those. I'd definitely put a thunder hammer on the sergeant every day of the week.
Oh yeah, I would as well, yeah. You wouldn't catch me about it. But yeah, that's them. I think they're cool, but they are definitely a glass hammer.
I mean, if you think about it, if you had like 10 of these and you charged a dreadnought, you would kill a dreadnought if it didn't do a disorganized charge on you. Because, I mean, Brutal 3, Strength 10, that'll work. And you're going way before the dreadnought with Sudden Strike 4.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it. Actually, you could take a Leviathan out quite easily, provided you used up action.
Lance as well. So you're ignoring high armor value.
Yeah, it's maximum of 12. So basically, so you could actually even, like you say, AP1 as well. Taking on Spartans
every day of the week. So I think they are.
Bear in mind, I don't think Spartans can hold the line.
Yeah,
it's some description because they've got a leadership value, so they can't make a leadership a marathon test to hold the line. I mean, it was a good question for people out there if they've got any contrary evidence, but I've always gone with the fact that they can't hold the line because they haven't got a leadership value. So yeah, if you basically got these guys just to charge Spartans, fantastic.
These are a close combat tank hunting unit. That's kind of how
how pretty cool. Like I've got to say,
your anything with a
2+ save.
Yeah, I think they.
I like them.
I think they're them going after your opponent's key vehicles with their 15-inch move is that's super cool.
Super cool, super effective.
Yeah. You just got to hope
because you put
the
firepower down with the Sky Hunters if you really want to jet bikes.
These guys to run around causing bother.
Yeah.
Very tempting, actually. I mean, they don't have an invuln save. That's the downside. But I was just looking at them in comparison to a Tartarus Terminator squad, which is 150 points.
Yeah.
And obviously they get a 5+ invuln save, but the stat lines, but they're a lot slower, right? So, very tempting, I think, now that I've looked at them in the light of day.
I think, to get a Terminator squad that same distance, even in a vehicle, it's going to be,
with a Storm Seer to give them the 4+ charge boost.
Yeah. Not they really need it, but yeah. Because at that sort of movement speed, they get something.
Very good.
2 or 3, I want to say, but I could be wrong. So yeah, I think they're really cool. I don't think they're a unit to be going after Terminator squads, things like that.
No,
I would, yeah. Leviathans, Contemptors, annoying enemy tanks. That's and a Primarch that's standing around on his own for some particular reason. Because they're at least going to go roughly the same sort of initiative speed as most of the Primarchs. I think 8 or it's generally pretty much up there. So and a brutal 3.
Yeah,
AP1, yeah.
They'll do a number. So pretty cool.
HVT killers, that's what they are.
Yeah, totally. You could just have them lurking about, waiting for the chance to strike.
Yeah,
no bother.
You don't even need that many. You don't even need more than 3 or 4 of them, really.
I think I'd probably want 5 just to be, because I get a Spartan just to be on there. Because you're kind of, otherwise you're hoping penetrating hit with 5 or 6 to play it up.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. What's next?
Okey-dokey. We have the Kazagan Assault Speeder Squadron. The toughness 7 javelins come with a Carrier's assault cannon and a Reaper auto cannons, which is a solid amount of firepower, but unfortunately it's all AP4, which means Terminator and Dreadnought hunting relies on rending 6+ to do the heavy lifting, which can be hit or miss, as this game famously is.
Absolutely. More miss than hit in our case.
Absolutely.
Most of the time.
Absolutely.
I mean, they look cool, and they'll do a number on infantry, but
yeah.
I mean, they'd be great at non-marine infantry.
Militia, they'll just militia, demons,
militia, solar auxiliary humans are going to just die. Yep.
It's a shame, really.
It does look as cool as.
And to be honest, I am noticing a lot more people are talking about Mechanicum now. I mean, that'll be because the plastic. So.
Well, yeah. So now the Ursa action things are coming out, aren't they, as well? So, I think as the speeders go, it's probably the best by some measure.
Looks cool, as. Okay, but you're right saying toughness 7, but it is is it as good as a Lascannon multi-melter javelin?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's not as reliable, I think. I mean, maybe one of them just for sort of rule of cool, but you'd just take normal javelins with all of the heavy firepower because they're just as vulnerable, I think. But yeah,
what do hunter killer missiles do in this crazy world that we live in?
I want to say that there's
absolutely nothing. What you want to say?
There's one use only, aren't they?
Yeah,
they
are.
I think they're strength 8. I want to say AP3 or AP4 even.
I'm getting confused with hunter killer missiles. Strength 8, AP3, heavy 1, one shot, 40 inches. I was thinking if there was some redeeming factor, but there isn't.
Not with AP3, unfortunately, because you want them to shoot the back of a tank or something, but you want AP2 so you can blow the thing up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 105 points.
Alrighty.
I'd go with
I would too. So the next one out of the bag, Dark Sons of Death, which we also feel might be a very good 80s sort of heavy metal band that's on the cusp between the sort of new wave of British heavy metal moving into the thrash metal of the San Francisco Bay Area.
Absolutely. They would have been on the same bill as Metallica at least once.
At least once, possibly. Yeah, I think so. Maybe on the European tour of, somewhere like Finland.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's definitely a Eurovision Song Contest, a Scandinavian group on the horizon called Dark Sons of Death.
But it probably sounds really ominous in Norwegian if you translated it. But then again, and it sounds like a proper death metal name in Norwegian.
Then again, the Norwegian name for Chewits probably sounds very intimidating.
Chewits, did you say?
Yeah, I don't know if they have.
Where the heck did that come from? I mean, that's literally like from a portal in the 1980s.
They still sell Chewits.
I don't think they sold them for 25 years.
Okay, so here you go. Morke Dodens Sunir.
Oh yeah, fantastic, right?
It's the Morke Dodens Sunir. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. That's the
that's the new band name.
That's the Norwegian. Yeah.
Fabulous. Anyway, yes, they do sell Chewits, Mr. B. I take it all back. I thought they were a long deceased.
Just another tangent here. I recently used the phrase opal fruit to my
fruit.
Oh, I
to
saw
my
you. I
my
saw
wife, who is 8 years younger than me, and she went, "What are you talking about?"
Talking about?
You know, it's really weird, but even a few months can like really change things because it's like me and Lindsay were only 6 months apart, and I remember Telebugs was like one of my favorite programs when I was quite young, and she's like, "What on earth are they?"
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't know what to bother, Mr. B. I think
Yeah.
you're drunk.
I think you just dreamt that from those days when you used to
No,
all of that.
they were great. They had they were like a yellow, red, and a white robot that had tellies in them.
No, yeah, Telebugs. Yeah, 1980. Okay, Mr. B. It's from the year that I was born. In fact, first episode date, the day after I was born, 6th of January, 1986.
Oh, great things happened then.
Exactly. What a month. What a month in a particular year that was. A TV show that lasted not even 2 whole calendar years.
Yeah. So, in fact, it was only one series by the looks of things. I know series 3. I beg your
3 series, 85 episodes, 86 episodes, but finished on the 15th of December, 1987.
I was 16, so I sort of stopped watching cartoons at that point in time. So anyway, now have we quite finished on the issue?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I do apologize.
Starburst, opal fruits dilemma. Made to make your mouth water. That's all. Isn't that another funny thing? Right, advertising clearly works because I can remember the opal fruits made to make your mouth water tagline from the advert. Can I remember how to do trigonometry? Can I bollocks? Why does my memory fail me?
All I think of when it comes to stuff like that is the teachers were all like, "Oh, you won't have a calculator in your pocket when you," and it's like,
yeah. You won't have a trigonometry table either, will you? So anyway,
slide ruler comes down.
Slide ruler, yeah. Anyway, back to the. Sorry, go on, Mr. B. Go on.
I was going to say this is why when my university was like, "Oh yeah, we're going to do open book exams," because let's face it, when you're in the real world, you're going to have access to the books.
Well, yeah.
They just make the questions more about interpreting the data rather than
ChatGPT now, of course. Anyway, these destroyers. Let's get back to the business of the Sons of Death, or their Norwegian death metal name, which sounds so cool.
I've got rid of it now.
Okay. These assault destroyers are unique as a Stormseer's retinue, going full melee with charnable weapons and power glaives. Nice. They lack the scary debuff ritual, but gain Fleet 2 and Rage 2 when charging an outnumbered enemy. Nice. They can also take special weapons like Flamer, Plasma, or Melter, plus special pistols, giving them versatility at range through the plasma gun. And though the plasma gun and Flamer are overpriced, so Melter is the best choice for these. They come with rad grenades, with the charnable tabars to inflict instant death in the first round. Rad grenades don't affect instant death anymore, Mr. B.
Oh, right, okay.
Did
I not?
I feel like we have this discussion.
I'm sure we did. Every time we come,
I think it does.
Okay, I think I looked this up and it said it didn't, but I might be looking at the rad furnace or the rad thing from the Mechanicum, so I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong.
I'm just gonna.
Where the hell are they? The grenade.
I'll look it up. Don't worry, you carry on. I'm gonna do a little document that's just gonna be of those 20.
That's a good idea. The Edge of Empire FAQ.
FAQ that we can just
I just refer to
up every time.
Yeah. So anyway, charnable tabars. That would be. I'll see what you're saying here, Mr. B. Because charnable tabars, what, +2 strength?
Yes, I think so.
And so they'd be strength 6.
Yeah, I like charnable tabars as
an idea. Toughness strength. Yeah. Okay. Furious Charge 1. Oh, Furious Charge 1. So there you go. Clearly, your quid's in. You can reliably wound on a 2+. However, their weapon skill 4 and 1 attack limit their effectiveness. And the Shadow of Death rule prevents boosting via a chaplain. Oh dear. Rage 2 and outnumbering help, but they struggle against same again, weapon skill 5 Terminators. Caesarean or anything along those lines. While their melee can deal with low armor squads, they lack durability and can be punished on initiative strikes. Sagar Mazan's Feel of Pain helps, but you're better off with the Eben Keshig for raw AP3 damage. You totally are. Stormseer adds psychic utility, telepathy, denying reactions, and a Cyberhawk enhances special weapon use, for example, +1 to the melter guns if they're within 24. Their mobility and rad grenades are useful for spreading debuffs, making them a strong disruptor. However, their high cost and fragility mean they're best used for specific synergy rather than general combat effectiveness. I think you're probably right. And these are from a exemplary battle report thing, aren't they? Exemplary battle.
Yeah, they are.
PDF. Yeah. Okay. So they're not terrible, but yeah, I get your point. They're not amazing.
Google's AI overview. Yes, rad grenades can affect instant death thresholds in Warhammer 40,000 Horus Heresy.
Well, I don't believe AI in anything. So I'm going to take your word for it.
What's that for? Rad grenades. During a turn, a unit with at least one model with a rad grenade charges, or the zelda charge, all models in the enemy unit suffer a monster penalty characteristic. So in the size, this does affect instant death thresholds.
Well, I'll be jiggered. Well done, Mr. B. Once again, you're quite right. You have said this before, and I've always doubted you that you said you're pretty good at these rules when you have to write them down.
Rad grenades
using them in game.
The first thing on the Chris's document of things he doesn't want to continue.
I mean, I suspect very much that there's listeners out there who go, "Why do they always get this rule wrong?" So they will probably let us know if there's anything we should add to the rules we should always remember FAQ. Okay.
You're highlighted in red.
Lovely job. All right, Mr. B, you're up.
I am indeed up. And we've got the Falcon's Claws. So these are scouts with lightning claws or power weapons and bolt pistols. They're pretty unique because we don't see scouts very much in 40K with anything other than, either sniper rifles or just bolt pistols. They've got outflank, which means they can enter the field pretty safe. They also benefit from mark for death.
Whoa. Nothing can enter the field safely from outflank.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, things will go. It depends. It's a little bit better, but
you just know where they're going to be, right? So you just shoot. That's the problem. So I would dispute that, but fair enough.
Fair enough.
Please.
They get marks for death and precision strike 5+, so they're pretty effective at targeting key enemies. You can add a Cyberhawk to them for rerolls, which further improves their accuracy, and their main role is to shred soft targets in the back line. But the champion can swap a claw for a power fist or thunder hammer, which I would absolutely do.
Do they get infiltrate or anything, or scout?
They don't get infiltrate or scout.
Okay.
They get outflank.
Outflank, but not infiltrate or scout. Well, that sucks.
They're a bit better in this edition because they got 3 more inches of movement and the skirmish keyword. Plus, the lightning claws are enhanced and shroud bombs. They're 95 points for the first 5 and 16 points per additional model. So I think they are pretty good value.
Yeah, shroud bombs, super cool, super useful.
12 inches or 6 inches for shroud bombs? I can never remember.
Inches it adds onto the. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Skirmish is useful. Gives you +1 cover save.
Well, so
he might be tricksy. Can they go in a rhino? They've got
no transports available to them as dedicated. They've got move through cover and outflank. That's cool. They're definitely for coming in from the side, and going into the back line and messing something up. Like, I don't know. I was going to say last cannon squad, but they'll probably be targeted by them.
Yeah, they'd kill them in Overwatch. But I suppose
or
never mind, they can move at 8, can't they? And they can move at 8 and run. So you could get
the movement is 9.
9. That includes the +1.
Yeah.
Nice. So you can, with a run that's 13. I probably wouldn't outflank them. I would just leg it up the board. Hope for the best. It's just as much chance of you dying from that, to be honest with you. Probably less. Because you'd have other things that whoever's in your army needs to deal with them. But yeah, they aren't a bad unit, I've got to say. You're not wrong.
Also, they can all take.
They've got was it 1 lightning claw or 2 lightning claws they've got on them? Sorry.
2 lightning claws, every single one.
So that's great, isn't it? I mean, that's
And
Yeah,
the champion
three
can
attacks.
take a Thunderhammer, and they can take a Cyberhawk, which most
Hmm.
I can't think of another non-independent character unit can do. So
What are they? They are troops. They're not in a.
they're a fast attack.
Fast attack. So yeah, I suppose that's a problem because fast attack though with White Scars is probably the one contentious slot, if you see what I mean, because you're only going to get through. So would they be better than maybe some bikes? I don't know, but points wise, rather, they seem like they are good value.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they're super useful, and there's definitely a place for them.
Definitely. Okay.
Precision strikes as well. So
yeah, precision strike 5 is pretty good.
Goodbye, Mr. Apothecary.
Yeah, well, Mr. Sergeant.
Let me murder all your friends.
Yeah. And you pick where the wounds go after you've rolled the wounds.
Yeah.
So, no, precision strike is when you roll it, but then you go if you've got a 5+, right? That's going on him. That's going on him.
Yeah.
And then
Steve, Allen, and Clive. Yeah.
But not Bob because he's got it off.
Bob is atoning for his sins elsewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in the Eye of Terror. Okay. Or Weatherspoons. I'm not quite sure which.
Exactly. For those of you watching on YouTube, regrettably, there is no images of a pre-made Falcon's Claws.
No, there isn't.
Actually, there would be some.
So
getting them to work.
We improvised slightly and went for a slightly more
I couldn't find
ornithological.
I couldn't find a picture of anyone who's made them, which is a shame.
Yeah, my Google Foo came up short.
So I think if you get lightning claws in the melee weapon set,
you do,
but I think
you only get like
one or
two headless, I think. Yeah, they're
a bit big for scouts.
They're a Netsy job more than
they're 4+ armor though, aren't they? Because they got scout armor, they got 3+ armor.
4+.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Fair play. Very good. Okay. What should we move on to? What's next? Sorry, Chris, you've got another one.
What's next? So we're on to the characters. Oh no, sorry, no, we're not. We've got the
Legion Auxilia.
Legio's Auxilia. Woo! If unit of Auxilia with the line type is in your deployment zone within 6 inches of an objective, they gain the Feel No Pain 6+. And if they already have this special rule, it's improved by 1 thanks to a Medicaid. So they would get a 5+ with the Sadir Mazan, which would
not be
yeah.
I don't think.
No, I don't think. I think they just get Feel No Pain 5+, don't they? So they don't make it an additional 1. So yeah, useful. Definitely protect them in the Sadir Mazan because a load of Auxilia with 5 up Feel No Pain is going to be. Mind you, they're toughness 3, so anything strength 6 is going to
exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they're all right for
all those power moves coming along, just smashing left, right, and centre.
They're designed for holding objectives. Okay, right.
Okay, so we're up to the character section now. So the first one, which we've talked about a little bit, is the Stormseer, which is their sort of bespoke console type. So for the same cost as Librarian, you can bring your own unique psyker to the battlefield. What fun. While your choice of disciplines is a bit limited to divination and telepathy and thaumaturgy, your special one, or your special one, basically, which is the one we talked about with the ability to give your unit fleet 4. Yep. Your Stormseer comes with Adamantium Will 4+, offering a handy save against other psychers trying to mess with your head. And if you want to really up your anti-psychic game, you can also take a Psychic Hood for just 15 points. Yeah, it means just a psyker with access to a different psychic power.
Different powers.
All of the wind, which is pretty good, which we talked about earlier. And there's a cool model there as well. Is that that's a White Scar?
That's the White Scar
Heresy
model.
Yeah, nice. It looks pretty damn fine.
I chose the one without the helmet because I thought he looked better.
No, very good. Excellent. Okay, who's next?
That be me. We have Quinn Zar, Master of the Keshig, Chosen of the Kargan, a Tartaros Terminator Praetor with an Iron Halo and a few stat tweaks. Stubborn instead of inexorable, +1 initiative and -1 ballistic skill. But it doesn't have any ranged weapons, so yeah. He's built for close combat with counterattack 2 and furious charge 1. His Master of the Keshig special rule allows any Tartarus command squad he joins to swap their power weapons for power glaives for additional 5 points each, which is quite good. His twin blades, the tails of the dragon, are mastercrafted AP2 melee weapons, giving him an extra attack. I can choose between 2 sword techniques. So split the mountain for strength +3 or strength 7 or 8 on the charge. Unwieldy, which will take down your big targets and dreadnoughts, maybe unit characters as well. Or part the horse's mane, not part of. Strength +1, S5 or S6 on the charge. Precision strikes 3+. That's going to deal with regular units quite well. His warlord trait, chosen of the Kargan, allows you to bring in units from deep strike or flank without using the reserve roll once per battle. Additionally, he grants an extra reaction during the assault phase while he's alive, which is pretty good in Chogoran Brotherhood, where most of your army will be coming in from a flanking assault. So I think he's pretty good.
Would it though? So that's. I don't think. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll have to agree to very much. I don't think you would. I don't rate outflanking anymore, Mr. B. I think it's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
So I think it's a very good way to lose your army very quickly. But hey, I stand corrected. Quite happy to accept that. Good figure though. I think we talked about this. He is a cool looking dude, and he very much looks the part.
Yes.
I think the helmeted version's got him like in a sort of
it's like a boar's head.
Yeah, it's quite cool. Cool sort of, like I say, North Asian look about it. So really nice. I think he's a pretty good character, to be honest with you. Mastercrafted AP2 melee weapons, which gives him initiative 5. I think initiative 5 he's like the same stat line as a Praetor. And he's got, the unwieldy strength 8 on the charge is situational. But most of the time I think you're going to use the +1 strength 5 or strength 6 on the charge. Precision strikes 3, again, super handy because you can start going, okay, a POG 3 sergeant, power fist guy, you're going the journey against other sort of similar powered Praetor types. He'd probably do okay, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. Counterattack 2 is super useful though, because you're probably actually better off waiting to get charged. And then you can disorganize charge them and use counterattack. Which I think is a pretty good combo of Furious Charge as well. So he's got some good rules. How many points is he though? He's quite expensive, isn't he, point-wise?
He's 220 points, I think.
Yeah, that's not too terrible. It's about right, I think, for his swords.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Furious Charge. I think for me, it's the counterattack 2 that I find most useful for him.
Definitely. Yeah, because I mean, you're basically going one up. We want, because like I say, because then you can disorganize charge them, so they remove a charge, but you still get 2 attacks back.
Yeah,
for them charging you, which I think is super good combo.
Yeah,
and of course, unless of course you fail your morale test, in which case you're in big trouble.
I like him. I think he's cool.
Yeah, very good. Okay. So who's next then?
So it is Stephen Khan.
Yeah.
A commander seeking redemption after nearly betraying his legion. I've now nicknamed him Bob. Having earned his place in the Saga Mazin by cutting off Aximan's face as a penance. Again, gift card. That's what you got to do. While he has Master Legion, he restricts your attachment to only Saga Mazin units, unless included in the Shattered Legion's army. He comes with a champion stat line and benefits from the Eben Keshig standard, the Karash, giving him stubborn, feel no pain as well. He has the Breath of the Storm, upgraded Power Glaive, +2 strength, still AP3, but it's Southern Strike 1, Breach 4+, Murderous Strike 6+. So, breaching 4+, not too shabby. As Mr. B points out here, it being a standard AP3 thing is a problem. But
Yeah, that is a problem. I think
Yeah.
it does let him. That's one thing that lets him down.
Yeah.
I think because it's not a Paragon blade, is it? And
no.
Yeah, AP3. I mean, you are going at initiative. I'm guessing 6 if he's with initiative 5. I don't know what the stat line is. To be fair,
I
yeah,
remember where
you are fishing for 4s basically.
Mhm.
So 50-50 chance.
Yeah. Which is he's not crazy money, I don't think.
Okay.
If I can remember.
Is he less than what's his chops?
Yeah. But I'm trying to think. Oh, he's in Cathonia, isn't he? Yes, he is. Oh, Beta Garmin, sorry. He is 165 points.
Okay. That's Praetor with the Paragon blade, basically.
Yeah.
So, but he will go first. So there's always a chance, right?
Initiative 5, 2 wounds, 3 attacks. Weapon skill 6. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was initially in Legends, and then they moved him into the Beta Garmin book.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Beta Garments, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think that was the one that did that, yeah.
It gives you reactions when you die and when he lives, which is good. So here, Warlord trait, Secret Atonement grants Rampage 2 to his squad. So an additional reaction in the movement phase. Which, if he dies, is then in the assault phase. So this can give the Airborne Cashier up to 60 attacks on the charge, which is formidable even at weapon skill 4. However, his value is better realized in a Legion Command Squad, where they're not bulky, can take a Land Raider and make better use of extra attack due to the weapon skill 5 and access to reasonably priced power fists. Yeah. He has a place, but it is a very niche.
Agreed.
It is a very niche option, I tend to think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Definitely. Okay. All right. So the next one out of the bag is Solomon Khan with a silent T. Khan of the Brotherhood of the Golden Star, champion of Bifrost, the Hammerhand. Nice. Wow, he looks like a very angry Yul Brynner on the picture.
There's a certain similarity, absolutely.
Absolutely. So anyway, this Praetor stands out with a strength 5 stat line, although his chief weapon, Tia Shan, that steals the spotlight. This strength 10 AP2 specialist weapon is designed to slice through Terminators and Dreadnoughts with Brutal 2 and Reaping Blow 1. If you really need to finish off a Praetor or a one-shot a Cassafer and Dreadnought, you can sacrifice all those attacks for a strength 12 AP2 smash at initiative 10, making him terrifying in those clutch moments. To add to this threat, he also carries a combi melter to deal with crucial vehicles, and if he wants some extra fire support, he can ride a jet bike. Nice. So that, well, I don't know if the strength 10 weapon, that's not an initiative, is it? It's unwieldy. Yeah, that was
it's a power fist.
Definitely worth clarifying.
Yeah, all intents and purposes, it's a power fist.
Yeah. What sets him apart from those things, is his rare aspect, is his rare respect rather for the Citizens of Silence, a faction not often treated kindly by most of the galaxy. His connection allows him to bring along a Knight Centura as a HQ without taking up a slot, and she can take a Raptora cadre as her retinue. This bypasses restrictions on allied attachments and lets you field them even when you're already using allies elsewhere or have certain rights of war. So in our soup list, we should have done this, because that would have given another army type.
Mr. B, I think one of us did.
I think you might be right.
Yeah,
you might have pulled this one out of the bag.
I don't think I did, but
anyway, these Sisters of Silence act as sworn brothers, much like regular allies would. Although this isn't a warlord trait, it frees up your warlord choice for someone else. Very good. There's a kind of a king and I thing going on here. I've just realised with with old Solomon Khan being Yul Brynner and a Raptora, a Knight Centura being Anna in this instance. You could reenact the whole Gilbert and Sullivan thing on the battlefield.
Well,
Right? Shall we dance?
Well, doing that at some point. It's someone doing the full musical rendition of.
King and I, done with White Scars and Sisters of Silence. Of course, the Sister of Silence will probably not have any singing parts.
Well, it'll be just dancing. They're just background dancing. That's
background dancing, right? The Knight Centura herself is a cheap, independent character who, while not an offensive powerhouse.
Also, just very quickly, Gilbert and Sullivan, it's Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Good point. Look at that. I've been done. Yeah, absolutely right. Of course it is. Anyway, I can't believe you knew that as quickly as you did. Did you Google that? You didn't.
No, I didn't knew that. I knew it was. I knew it was Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Because I think your mum's got the record, if I'm not mistaken.
Almost certainly somewhere.
Anyway, it's a great way to ensure that. Anyway, the Knight Centura herself, like I said, cheap independent character who, while not an offensive powerhouse, has Ex Oblivio, which reduces enemy models in base contact by skill 1. A great way to ensure Solomon Khan wins any challenge. Mm-hmm. She also provides the Anathema rule, which imposes a -1 leadership penalty against things that aren't stubborn and grants hatred against psychers, demons, and corrupted units. However, she does come with some drawbacks, such as reducing your unit's leadership by -2, which does kind of suck.
Yeah.
She is considered a sworn brother to your White Scars, meaning she can't ride. She's considered a sworn brother, so she can't ride in White Scars transports. Her 6-inch movement can also be a hindrance when compared to your army's faster models, and she can't take a jet bike to keep up with Solomon. Mm-hmm. As for the Raptora, they're not the best choice. While their execution blades give them weapon skill 5, strength 5, AP3 rending attacks, they're still just regular old human women in an army of superhuman space marines, which makes them a bit underwhelming. Their presence as a retinue also locks the Knight Centura to them, preventing her from using Ex Oblivio to support other White Scars characters. Which she couldn't do anyway, could she? Because they're sworn brothers, they can't join units, or can they? Anyway, unless you're planning to use Ex Oblivio specifically to target enemy independent, it's better to skip the rest.
I think she can join Solomon's unit, I think.
Right, okay, that's like a special Anna and the King moment. Okay.
Sworn brothers.
Is that the top of the shop?
Forcing to friendly units in all regards. This means, for example, that sworn brothers may be joined by allied independent characters.
Oh, nice. So she can.
But you can't get in the same taxi.
No, but you can get in the same rug, basically. Yeah. Okay. Now I've got the King and I music in my head. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay. The Khan himself, Jagatai Khan. Kargan of the White Scars, the Warhawk, Master of the Ice Blue Heavens, and Primarch of the White Scars.
It's a fine-looking model, I've got to say.
A blistering Initiative 8 and Movement 9 on foot. Jagatai Khan is the fastest loyalist around. He's an incredible force multiplier, with his Sire of the White Scars Warlord trait granting Furious Charge 1 to all infantry, cavalry, and himself, though he already has Furious Charge 2, so it doesn't stack, which is annoying. And that's so long as they've moved in the same turn, because you've got to go first. This also gives you an extra reaction in the movement phase. For his own squad, he benefits from Pathfinder, Move Through Cover, Hit and Run, and Crusader, so that's maximum mobility. His Lightning from the Blue Skies ability allows him and his entire unit to arrive from reserves whenever you like. No need for any reserve roll. So that's good. If he's part of a flanking assault, the whole army arrives on your terms. He can't outflank on his own, but if attached to Pathfinders on foot or Outriders on bike, he can use Scout to outflank from reserve. Alternatively, you could use the Chogoran Brotherhood Rite of War, where all your infantry in your army can outflank, though Khan himself can't. So that's pretty good. When it comes to dueling other Primarchs, he's not great at that. He's no slouch, but he doesn't really have the firepower to deal with most of them effectively. But on his bike, he's virtually impossible to catch, making him rare for him to need to duel. That gives him 18-inch movement and hit and run. He's one of the best Primarchs for picking his fight and escaping when things get too heated. Survivability, he's got 3+ invulnerable save and an additional wound from his bike, so he's pretty tough. Probably one of the most difficult Primarchs to kill in a straight fight. This gives him the flexibility to take risks and make plays. The Khan can also lead a squad of Golden Keshig, with both he and the Keshig gaining massive bonuses on the charge, thanks to their Kontos power lances and his Furious Charge too.
Cool, yeah, you're right. That would be, strength 12 on the charge.
With lightning from
those. I'm just finding a quick thing. So he's got hit and run, which means he automatically passes morale test. He just basically can go, I'm off now.
Yeah.
Cheers. And then, so for example, if it was your turn next and you were in combat, you could go, right, I'm out of here. And then I'm going to charge in the next phase to get my Furious Charge and all my other bonuses back.
Yeah.
And you couldn't possibly, and you can't fail the test because he doesn't make one because he's fearless. Nice combo.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, thanks to his lightning from the blue skies, even allies like Pale Hunters, so Space Wolves, and Head of the Gorgon Iron Hands can benefit from his arrival, despite not being Swarm Brothers, so long as they're part of the flanking assault. His armor is the Wildfire Panoply, which gives him a solid 2+, 4+ save with an added 3+ in the movement and assault phases, so he can shrug off any terrain or melee hindrances. His weapon, the White Tiger Dao, is Strength +1, AP 2, with Duelist's Edge 1 and Furious Charge 2, and Murderous Strike 5+. So he's a nightmare for any characters or squads on the other side. And
you said he was no good against other Primarchs. I'm just trying to work out why. I mean, those are some pretty good stats.
I think it just comes to the fact he doesn't quite have the firepower to really sort of. He's good stats, but I'd say he's sort of in the middle, I guess.
I mean, what's he? Strength 7, AP 2. So he's going to go before most other Primarchs.
The only one he goes at the same time as, I just looked through them all, is Fulgrim, who is also Initiative 8.
Yeah.
So he's gonna not hit you before you hit him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be off if he's charged you, which he probably would have sensibly done with the old hit and run Furious Charge 2. I mean, he's going to be rocking some serious damage.
Yep. The White Tiger Dao is one-handed and not a specialist weapon, so he'll get an extra attack as well, which is pretty handy.
Hey, the White Tiger Dao. He's got he's strength 7, so he has strength 7 attacks.
Yeah.
Furious Charge makes him strength 9.
+1 for strength 1 for the White Tiger Dao makes him strength 10.
I've read it. No. So he's strength 9 with the Furious Charge. Duelist Edge, what does that do?
+1 initiative in a challenge.
Okay, so the challenge he's going initiative 9.
Yeah.
A strength 9, AP 2, a strike 5+, mastercrafted. He's gonna cause pretty much everyone some bother.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where. I mean, I think maybe we.
How many attacks he got?
That should be the 8. He's got
7 attacks on the charge.
It's a load.
8 attacks with 2 close combat weapons.
Yeah.
Because Storm's voice is a pistol.
Yeah.
So
I think he's pretty hard.
8.
I mean, you wouldn't want him to challenge
initiative 8.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't want to put him in the challenge because some clever so-and-so would just put a chosen warrior and chuck him at him. The classic feed the Primarch your chosen warrior's tactic. But even so, initiative 8, he's going to go before, I'd say, all bar Fulgrim.
Yeah. As far as everyone else is initiative 6 or 7.
I think he'd do all right. I don't know. I know a lot of people have done the sort of math hammer.
Leather elbowed
tweed jackets,
tweed jacket types.
Yes, with a pipe full of old shag
and a faint splash of brute about them. Something for the lady.
Okay. Anyway, I think it'd be interesting to find out, Mr. B. I think he can. On those stats, I reckon. Well, it depends, doesn't it? If he's not charging each turn, maybe you have a point. But I think if he's doing his hit and run thing every turn, he's going to just tear through.
He's still going to be.
It's still going to be initiative 8, right? It's still going to be strength 7, yeah, because he's strength 6 minimum base Is he?
Yeah, strength 6 base.
+1 for the
Plus 1
for the strength 7. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think. Let's think of an enemy.
Let's have a look at.
Let's
He's also
Perty.
Yeah, so I'll just
Perturabo.
quickly do is
Perturabo is toughness 7, so he would be wounding Perturabo on a 4+.
Yeah.
And going way before him. Perturabo is initiative 5.
Yeah.
he's also got a pistol.
Actually, I think Perturabo's initiative 1 with his hammer.
Yes.
Because he has that weird thing where he takes what's his name's hammer and makes it worse.
Yeah, Forge Breaker.
Ferrus Manus.
Hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so his pistol is pistol 2, strength 6, AP 4 with the flag rate and concussive 1. AP bit underwhelming, but rending 5+, which is quite good.
I mean, you very rarely fire the guns off. I mean, some of the pistols are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think AP3 pistols, for example. But again, you probably most of the time you're not shooting pistols because you don't want them to shoot you back as part of a reaction.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
He would do Mortarion an absolute mischief. Sorry, just because Mortarion's only got a 4+ invulnerable save, whereas Jagatai
Perturabo's. Yeah.
So winding him on 4s. Yeah. Weapon skill. What's Jagatai's weapon skill? I'm assuming relatively tasty.
3.
Yeah, weapon skill 1. Weapon skill 7. So
yeah, pretty good.
Pretty useful.
Okay. Mr. B, carry on, sir.
Yes. Okay. So he's also got the option for a Sojutsu pattern jet void bike, an absolute must-have. It's 25 points, and that basically makes him cavalry, anti-grav, with all the associated benefits like extra wound and an 18-inch movement. The bike also comes with 2 mastercrafted heavy bolters, Hammer of Ra free, and firing protocols free, allowing him to hit the bike's guns alongside his own. No real reason to run him without the bike. And a lot of people would have made the argument that because of that, he'll be able to use the benefit from an apothecary. I'm not sure that's the case, but...
Oh yeah, this was the argument being that it changed his type from Primarch to Cavalry.
Yeah, it came up very, very early in...
Because if it changed his type from Primarch to Cavalry, he would lose all the advantages of being a Primarch.
He totally would, right?
But it does give him cavalry, so I mean,
but he's infantry as well, isn't he? Remember,
yeah.
So I think it changes the infantry to cavalry, and the Primarch stays the same.
I see where people were coming from, but I don't think so.
It could do with an FAQ because I don't think if it do get Philippania, it certainly wasn't intentional. Okay. I mean, the problem is how do you model it? That's the question.
You don't, because that's what I think eventually when they get him in the new model, like they're doing with the demon Primarchs, I think he will then get.
What you do is you cut out where the little tabardy bit is between his legs. You plonk him on a jet bike. You cut him at the waist. Green stuff him into a saddle. Job done. That take you 20 minutes max.
I think I've seen somebody model him with a jet bike in the background. So it's like he's just jumped off his jet bike to slap you, but he's kind of has a jet bike. I don't know. Maybe that would work. Until they get a proper model, we'll just have to speculate how you would actually do it.
Yep.
But it's faff, I think, is the point I'm making.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right to make that.
It is.
All right.
Right. Shall we crack on with our list challenge? Although, first of all, we got some notes from Pete Rees, one of our friends of the show, about how he paints his white scars, which is a really good way of doing it. So it's Rattle Can black and white, followed by white. Any other type of Zenith will give a similar result. Then Agrax / and Lama medium mix, followed by a good white for an airbrush. He suggests the Pro Acryl one, as it's amazing. And then he's black, so contrast and Corax black, metal, gold's done. And he suggests using clear red on a lot of the old over metal. and he has started to use Mephisto red instead of that, maybe a highlight. So, yeah, gloss transfers pin wash. He likes Starship dirt and basically bit of brown and a bit of black type oil wash. And Agrax is pretty good for that, he says. So,
I mean, a lot of people swear by XF2 airbrush using the Tamiya white.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is apparently a very easy and nice white to apply without too much favage. I've not tried it myself. I've heard great things, and I think Damien uses it. I know Rob was a big fan of it. I might try it because you know what? As this has gone on, we've done this for 2 weeks now.
Yep.
I've actually got quite a few jet bikes already that I had sort of lined up for my Black Shields army.
Yep.
Now I'm thinking, really, an army built around the Khan could be quite cool. But the only thing that is slightly holding back is that kind of white and red, that making a very nice, clean cut of those colours on the bikes in particular.
I would consider gold Retributor armor and then popping my red over as Blood Angel's red contrast over that to sort of
but you want a kind of masking tape off the bits, if you see what I mean. So it's very
you can liquid mask it.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. I've not tried that, or blue tack even, I suppose. But yeah, just to get it exactly cool. It's a thing. I was planning on having white scars as part of my Black Shields, so maybe I'll just do that instead. Okay, nice. Well then, let's get on. Let's get on, chaps. Time's a ticking.
I'll just hit the button if I can find it, because the cat's in the way. Okay, great. Let's challenge. So, let's challenge. So we've already done this. So we've already given ourselves scores. So I think what we'll have to do is.
I'm hoping that on the second reading, you should.
Let's go through it again. I think
you might change your mind, Mr. B.
Okay, so shall we start with?
I think I went first last time.
Don't start with me because I cannot find my list in the 58 million different documents I've just.
Okay,
my battle scribe is like the Library of Congress. It's like 1,000 different lists.
I'm pretty.
Okay, I'll do mine first, if you wouldn't mind, Mr. B.
Okay, yours is up on screen, Graham.
Fantastic. So rather than do the atypical bike thing, I thought I'd try and see if we could get some good fun game from the. I can't remember the name of the Rite of War. The Shazam Reserve. He says quickly on that one. Yeah, that one. Shazam Mazin. So I wanted. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's cool. 5+ Feel of Pain, Fearless on the Charge. Those are 2 good rules. That'll do. So that's what I've gone for. So in my army, I have got a Master of Signals with nothing at all other than a Cyberhawk. Of course, the Cyberhawk, very useful for him. And I'll tell you how he works in a moment. Then I've got another Silent Centurion, so I wanted to use that Storm Seer because I thought he's cool, he's very themey, and again, the +4 potential to your charge roll got to be a bonus, right? And then I've kind of built the army a little bit around Quinn Sar, that's quite expensive HQ choice, and I've given him that retinue, so 5 guys, 1 with Twin Lightning Claws, 2 with Power Glaives, and 1 with the Thunderhammer. Tartarus is going to take Thunderhammer, so that's cool. And they're all going in. Sorry, I beg your pardon. 1 glaive, 1 Thunderhammer, 1 Lightning Claw, and a standard bearer with a Thunderhammer. So that makes a line unit. And they've also got a Land Raider Proteus with nothing on it except the standard stuff that you get, Searchlight, I think. So that's like my hard-hitting squad. The Storm Seer probably would go with those guys, just to give them the extra charge business. And then I've got nothing in elites at all. Completely skipped the section. But in my troops, I've gone for Chris's favourite, the Assault Squad. which I'm coming round to as a cool idea, actually. So obviously they're fast. They'd be faster still with this, with the White Scars. So I've got a sergeant there just with a power fist. I think it's a pretty good combo on the sergeant. And then 12 legionaries with chainswords, and then two with power lances and one with a power axe. And we talked about this ad infinitum about power lances. I think they're pretty good. And they also come with combat shields, giving them a 6+ in one.
Yeah.
When they need it. So I've got 2 squads identical there. And then I've got another 2 squads in my kind of binary world. This is the Ebon Keshik. So I've gone for 8-person Ebon Keshik squad. 6 of them have got the power mauls, 2 of them have got power fists. And I think they're a pretty good unit. I mean, they're not, like we say, top tier, but they're still not bad for 2 troop choices. And the idea is that these are kind of like the Terminators who are trying to redeem their honor. So they're going to charge forward. There's going to be running forward that Tartarus armor. Assault squads are going to be blitzing forward to try and get the objectives. And Quinsar in his Land Raider and his squad is going to be looking for a good opportunity to miss somebody's day. I've also gone for theme, the Kazagan assault speeder. As we talked about, it's not the most effective assault speeder in the world, but it still looks pretty cool. And there's quite a lot of shots off of it. But you are fishing for 6s. But I think, just having it harrying the more vulnerable units might be good. Maybe trying to get around the back of a tank or 2 might just work. And then heavy support, they can only take infantry heavy support squads. So I've gone for a 10-man Lascannon squad. Now I know that comes with a certain amount of attachment, but given the rest of the army hasn't got any shooting, I figure it's okay to put them in. Just going to need something to do with dreadnoughts and tanks and what have you. And then a 10-man heavy support squad, this time with Volkite culverins, because that's 50 shots. It's a lot of shots, right? So even Terminators and stuff, they've got augury scanners on them. Anything comes in deep striking, anything that comes in outflanking, they're just going to turn their guns on them and hopefully destroy them. The Master of Signals, as mentioned, would go with the Lascannon squad, boost their ballistic skill by +1 using his Cognos Signum. Also prevents you from taking any evade saves if you shoot them. And with the Cyberhawk, if you get within 24, also gives me 2s to hit ones with rerolling 1s. So kind of effective for most things that are coming your way. So that's my list. Like I said, it's kind of done on this army seeking redemption. So the Ebon Keshik assault squads, even Quinsai and his squad are there to redeem themselves in the eyes of the Khan.
Good.
And that's
I think, yeah, I like it. Obviously, Hibu Khan would be a better narrative.
It would be a better. I didn't realize Hibu. I don't know why I missed out on Hibu Khan. Is it because is he in the Legacies as well?
He's in Cathonia.
Ah,
Beta Garden.
That's why I missed out.
Yeah.
Should have checked. I thought he was a legacy unit, so I gave him a bit of a wide berth. But there you go. But yeah, I think you're probably right. Thematically, you're not wrong.
No, I think it's a.
I think 20. There's a lot of Terminators coming at you. It's still going to cause you some bother for sure. 2+, 5+ in ones, 2 wounds. They'll be reasonably effective. Quite a few attacks on the Ebon Keshik.
Yeah, I think that's something. It's volume of attacks is their trick. My only thing with the army is dreadnoughts.
Yeah, and that's
how you're going to.
So the only thing I could do with dreadnoughts is
and that's kind of it.
10-man Lascannons could do them. I could volume of fire a dreadnought out, though it's a bit chancy with the Volkites. So you're 50 shots, albeit you need 5 to wound them, and then you're fishing for them to roll 1s. Hope that you get a load. So I don't, you might get 2 wounds, you might get 3 if you're lucky with the Defligate, but yeah, I'm not convinced that they could take a dreadnought out in 1 turn. The retinue squad's got 2 Thunderhammers, and Quinsar as well can do a number on a dreadnought if he uses his big attack. But even his strength 5 attack could probably do okay. So that would be the thing. Basically, I'm kind of relying on the 10-man Lascannon squad to just nuke a dreadnought a turn.
Doing a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, the Ebon Keshik would struggle, but they are breaching. But their lower strength means I'm fishing for 6s to wound.
Yeah.
I've got 2 Thunder Hammers in for that reason, but again, I mean, suppose 3 Power Fists. I've got 3 power, so that would be 6 Power Fist attacks or whatever. So that's probably enough, maybe, but I'm going to lose a lot of guys in the process.
Yeah, and also you're going to be, bear in mind, they're only weapon skill 4.
They are, so they've been hitting on 5s.
Hitting on 5s.
Yep.
That's the only thing that.
Yeah, no, don't disagree. I would basically be having to rely on the heavy support squads to do quite a bit of heavy lifting there.
Yeah.
And the last cannons on the, I mean, you know, the Dreadnought, sorry, not the Dreadnought, the Land Raider can be quite good, but again, probably not enough to kill. You're not going to kill a Dreadnought a turn in a Land Raider. But 2 Thunder Hammers, 2 Power Glaives, pair of Lightning Claws, and Quinn's Zimsar, whatever, maybe take a Dreadnought on, but it's going to be a close call. Whereas I think the heavy support squad is definitely going to do it if it comes too close. Struggle probably with Leviathans would probably be a harder ask. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage you've got is that, you know, no one's getting points for killing anything.
There is that. And they do all have Feel of Pain, but obviously if you're getting smashed by a Dreadnought with Brutal 3 Fist, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
That's going to be the thing, isn't it? That's okay. Everyone's, you know, they're going to be prime Dreadnought feeding sort of territory.
Yeah, I think I would probably ignore the Dreadnoughts as best as I can and just keep out the way of them.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they're 3 units. I mean, yeah, bear in mind you have got the advantage of speed a bit, not necessarily with the Ebon Keshik, but other things, and could get out of the way.
Yeah, yes, the stock squads.
Yeah, that would probably be what I would try and do, is just to get the hell out of Dodge and maybe focus on other things and just let the heavy support squads to deal with the Dreadnoughts. But they may be having to deal with Dreadnoughts and another Spartan, for example.
Yeah.
You know, which again, if somebody's rocking up with a Spartan, the only thing that I've got to deal with it is going to be the last cannons.
Yeah, and Fair Shield Friendship.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, those 2. I mean, it isn't the most effective list. It was more for the samurai-esque charging.
I've
watched Shogun. so that's what I kind of was in my mind. The sort of Shogun-esque.
Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai Marathon, clearly been happening in there.
Yeah, you know, just like you could make a really cool looking army, I think, with the Keshig and lots of gunners and things. You know, yeah. So that's where it came from. Not the most effective. You're not wrong.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Who's going next? Are you ready, Chris?
Should I go next, Mr. B? I can go.
Sure. I can go next. Yeah, I can go next. Okay, so
we'll save the controversial last.
All right, I have gone with for my HQ. I'm going with a Praetor with a Cyberhawk, a Mastercrafted Paragon Blade, and a Warhawk Jump Pack. Nothing too controversial there. Just very. My right of war, by the way, is Sagian Mazin. Same as Grey.
Same as mine.
So yeah. So I just wanted to be different. I thought there would be at least another Chogoran Brotherhood in this list, but yeah. Okay. So my next guy is HQ is a Stormseer with a Cyberhawk and a Jump Pack. He should have a Jump Pack.
Sorry, I do apologize.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's easy done. I've done it many a time. And he is accompanied by some Dark Sons of Death with 4 Power Glaives and 2 Lightning Claws on the Sergeant bloke. And he's also got Artificer armor. So they're sort of going to be jumping around and casting Call of the Wind on some. I'm just trying to look. Is this my list?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember now what I took. He's going to be jumping around and casting his spell on people. Elites wise, I've got a Contemptor Dreadnought with a Chain Fist, and a Claw and 2 Melter Guns. So that's pretty cool. That's just designed for combat. Troops wise, I've got 2 assault squads, identical, sergeants with Artificer armor and a Power Glaive. And then we have a Despoiler squad, which is going to be Inducti. And there's 20 of them. 2 lightning claws, and 3 heavy on the sergeant. So the sergeant got 3 lightning claws, 3 heavy chainswords, and a vexillia. And they're going to be doing their best to get that point. I thought I took 2 of them.
There's only 1 listed.
That's going all the way up.
I hate decoding Battle Scribe.
Sorry. This is actually new recruit, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Okay.
Where have I got it?
Oh no, you do have 2 of those, in fact. Yes.
Yeah, I do have 2 of them. Yeah, I thought I did. Okay, brilliant. Sorry, I will try.
No, it's my fault.
Yeah, it's all right. Okay, then I got 2 squads of basic Ebon Keshig. So nothing. Do I? I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, two Ebon Keshig cohorts. No upgrades or anything there.
Nope.
It's been a while since I wrote the list. So, and then in fast attack, we've got a 3 Sky Hunter squadrons of 6 bikes. With 1 with Volkite culverins and 2 with plasma cannons. And then it's not listed here, but I do have a heavy support squad of 10 las cannon guys, 1 with an augury scanner, and the sergeant, which is so yeah, it happens. Okay, and that's my list.
Why, Mr. B? Did you not mix up your Sky Hunters?
Mix them up.
Yeah, so rather than taking 6 plasma cannons, taking like 4 plasma cannons and 2 Volkites, something like that. I can see why, actually. I think that does make some sense, actually, because the problem with mixing things up is that sometimes you're shooting at one target that only half of your unit can actually damage.
That's kind of my thing. I don't tend to mix.
The downside of that is, of course, that means that unit can sometimes be completely ineffective. So, yeah, 6 and 2 3s.
Yeah,
I think I probably would have gone for multi-melters on the bikes in some form, but yeah,
just to be a bit more.
Even just 1 multi-melter on there with the plasma cannons, just so that you can take a tank out if you need to, because plasma cannons aren't great at that. They are great against infantry, of course. It's a nice list, actually. On second reading, that is actually pretty good. So you could deal with dreadnoughts because you could put the Contemptor at them with its extra attack.
Yes, that was the plan.
And you've got a 10-man las cannon squad, which is what I talked about, and doing some of my heavy lifting, but you've got a little bit of extra there. Same assault squads, same thing applies to those as me, and the Ebon Keshig, same again. So yeah, but you have got 6 plasma cannons or 12 plasma cannons is a lot.
Yeah.
That is pretty effective. And again, you could whip them round and shoot a 10-man las cannon squad, provided they'd used all the reactions up, and take them to the cleaners, my old son.
Yeah.
I think on second look at that army, it's actually more effective than I thought it was first time.
It's nice to hear.
That's not to say it's as effective as the most effective list here, but I still think it's more effective than I gave it credit for last time.
Yeah.
So yeah, very nice.
It does a lot.
I suppose the only thing is the HQ, the Praetor is with an assault squad, isn't he? So he's a little bit exposed. Yeah. And so is the Centurion, but yeah. And they're not like with a specialist unit, but even so, they're still going to whip around.
The Storm Seals with his Dark Sons of Death.
So obviously he has to go with his Dark Sons of Death. Yeah, I see what you mean. Fair enough. And we've talked about them being actually reasonably effective. There are only 4. How many guys are in that squad, though?
5.
It's not a lot. I always think you need a few more for a squad like that. But
yeah. The idea is sort of he's going to run up between the despoiler squads and when needed, cast Call of the Wind.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or even he can even keep pace with the assault squads and do the same.
Yeah, because he's got the jump pack. So
yeah, I think that's a pretty good list, actually, Mr. B. Got to say, Leviathan, las cannons can deal with that. Well, you got to keep the Contemptor alive, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
it literally is your kind of linchpin there.
It's going to become sort of bullet magnet. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because you're not going to shoot you aren't going to shoot the las cannon squad because they can react and fire back, whereas you can shoot that dreadnought with impunity unless you're within melter gun range. So yeah, keeping that alive is probably going to be the thing. But I think if you took that out early doors, I mean, you have got the Ebon Keshig, of course, but we've talked about their limitations already. So Sky Hunters. Yeah,
I
it's
think
all right.
also
It's better than mine.
with those particular Eben Keshen, the thing you have with your ones, there are a lot of them. There are these are 2 squads of 5.
2 squads of
that
5.
are
Yeah.
walking from
Yeah.
A to B.
Yep.
Which is
Agreed.
always opportunity
Yeah.
attack.
Always a risk. But yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think it's better than mine. It's a good list, but I still think there's probably some tweaking you would do over time to possibly improve it.
Yeah, I think it's for the strong base.
Definitely. Okay, what about yours, Chris?
So let's get controversial.
Well, you couldn't have changed it from last time, sure.
I haven't changed
That would be controversial.
I was tempted.
Oh, this was controversy. Yes, this was the not. Yeah, this was controversial.
There he goes. He's remembered.
I suddenly remembered why I marked this one down. Yes. Okay.
Right. So let me just bring up. Just close the wrong part. Right. So, Right of War Recon Company.
Which is very peculiar for
very peculiar from the get-go. So, certain limitations, things with the heavy type and such like have to stay off the board and come on afterwards. So, Golden Keshig, for instance, the heavy type, they stay off the board. So they have anti-grav heavy as part of their.
Wow. You wouldn't have thought that, would you?
You wouldn't have thought it, but it's in there.
But it's true.
But it is true. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So, Quinzar is my HQ choice. I then have him. A signaled
Marshal
Centurion Marshal Signals.
Yep.
And
Reroll your reserve rolls for your Golden Keshig.
Exactly. Well, actually, Quinzar can bring a unit on without having to worry about it.
He totally can. Is that turn 1, though?
No, it's at any point.
Subject to the normal limitations.
Okay, gotcha.
Quinzar. If the Quinzar is in a wall once per battle, channel player can choose to either bring a single actual friendly unit or group of friendly units assigned to the deep stroke, assault, or flanking assault into play from reserve automatically instead of rolling. Or have it.
So if you deep struck the Golden Keshig along with the other stuff, they could all come in free of charge whenever they roll.
Free of charge.
Boom. Here we go.
Boom. Exactly.
But this was the problem.
Yes, this is the problem. Yes, which is why I was going to change the list. I have a second Centurion who is a Vigilator with
you have to have that as
Cyberhawk.
Part of the business end of is the right war make you take a Vigilator, because I've been hugely impressed with Vigilators, to be fair, but
for
15 points, it's not that bad, is it?
For what I was trying to build, I thought
he comes up with an uprated sniper rifle, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's only 15 points, which even if you took a normal Centurion and gave him a Nemesis Bolter, would be 10 points. So no brainer.
Yeah, I think he was, for what I was trying to do, I think he just fit that bill for me. A single apothecary, and as discussed, a Golden Keshig squad, 3 extra guys, Vexilia, and a Thunderhammer on the champion.
Nice.
My troops choices are 2 recon squads, each with an additional 2, and then Nemesis Bolters, Augury Scanner, Nuncio boxes. They're the same. And then I have a Seeker squad, which has got an additional 3. They have an Augury Scanner. They have 2 Nemesis Bolters in there, as opposed to their standard Kraken Bolters.
Mm-hmm.
Fast attack choice is a 5-bike Sky Hunter squadron with a single plasma cannon, 2 multi-melters. I then have a Falcon's Claws squad, 3 extra, all got melter bombs, Thunderhammer on Sergeant, and a Cyberhawk. And then a Saber squadron of a single Saber with a neutron blaster and searchlights. Heavy support choice is one is the Sicarian Arcus, sponsored las cannons, searchlights, helical targeting array.
Right, good choice, yeah.
And the second is just a standard Sicarian, sponsored las cannons, searchlights.
Okay.
That's 2,226 points
Which leads
of
us on
my list. And the controversial element is that I've added an allied attachment, and that sound you heard was Graham throwing down his pen
It was
in
disgust.
rage for the
Right.
second time in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolute
absolute disgrace. The man saying,
I
and
mean,
you know,
you could just copy and paste this little segue he's got here into every list from now on.
well, no, the idea was to align with the White Scars in a more synergistic manner than reality has dictated.
Okay.
So I have an attachment of 750 points of Imperial Fifth. Less than a third of the army. Herstal squads for 275 points. They can be a retinue. They can also be a solitary HQ choice. And they all have Solarite power gauntlets because
why not?
Because why not? They all have shields already, and they can all deep strike.
So
They are in
and
Captain time.
AP1 clobberers.
Clobberers indeed.
Yeah.
And they have the deep strike special. The second, my elite's choice for this army is a 6-man Tartarus Terminator unit with 3 Thunderhammers, 3 Solarite Power Gauntlets, 6 Virgil Pattern Storm Shields, and the Teleport Strike Special Rule. And then there's just going to be one little 10-man squad of Imperial Fists, tactical squad, acting as liaison to the wider White Scars, bobbing around.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I wrote the list, before I checked the all-important allied table, I had sat there and thought, yeah, this will work really well, because Quinzar can bring allied units down of whatever type he likes. I haven't got to make a roll for it. It's perfect. I mean, what more can I ask for? Absolutely, that's what I'll do. So I did. And then a quarter of an hour before recording the first attempt, I checked the Allied table and realised that the White Scars and the Imperial Fists are not sworn brothers.
Oh.
Which made life slightly more difficult. Not entirely difficult, because the list still works, just doesn't work quite as cleanly as it would have done originally, as originally intended. I think if I was serious about doing this list, I think it's salamanders might be the way to go. I don't think they can deep strike anything, if I can't remember from my head. But yes, because at least then they would be able to utilize Quinzar's ability much more accurately. So the idea is that White Scars are doing the recon work, scouting ahead work. There's no vehicles with a very high profile or high armor value. Everything is quite light to give it that element of lightness and speed. The 2 bike squads with the Skyhunters and the Keshig, again, the Keshis won't come on to start with, but it's that element of the White Scars moving quickly ahead, scouting, find something they want to destroy that they perhaps don't have the capabilities to destroy themselves, and therefore they call on their allies, in terms of the Imperial Fists, to come down and do what the Imperial Fists do, which is bring big hammers and shields and chomp people up. But I think the White Scars still bring enough to it to be for it to be a White Scars majority list. Because you're right there.
No. So yes.
Because the recon squads and things, they can take out we can snipe models that we want to dispose of. The saber can take out. Is really my only main anti-armor in terms of range. The Arcus and the Sakaran will deal with most medium things, but yeah, these guys are there to do the preliminary work, the light work.
Yeah, go back to your White Scars bit if you don't mind going back to the other slide, if you can. So you've got 3 scoring units in the army.
Oh, those are my 3. Those are the
2
scoring units.
Sorry, because the
3.
Seekers aren't scoring. Unless they are in a recon's company, they might be.
They become a compulsory.
Doesn't mean they're scoring.
No,
as well.
Let me just double check.
They might do.
6 scores may be taken as non-compulsory. They don't get line. So you've got 2 scoring units.
So that's risky.
Yeah.
And yeah, not massively survivable. I mean, you can infiltrate them, so you could get early doors onto objectives. But they won't be around.
Nuncio were there to provide assistance for the deep strike.
Strike scatter, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yeah.
Falcon's Claws, put them in. I mean, they're not terrible. I mean, I suppose what's your plan for the dreadnoughts would be the Golden Keshig Charge.
Golden Keshig Charge and
Plasma
Sky Hunter. They're multi-mods on the Sky Hunters. That's kind of my dreadnought. The Neutron Blaster is really designed to do other things.
It's more of an active vehicle thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The Sakaran and the Arcus.
The Arcus can definitely do a number. I would have probably, if I was new, I would have found the extra 25 points and had 2 Arcuses.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Because I think that 10 shots against a dreadnought would kill a dreadnought.
Yeah. For the purposes of the theme, I thought if I was running a recon company and I was doing what this particular army is doing, I would probably have a medium support tank as opposed to a rocket tank. If that makes sense. That was kind of my theme, my self restrictions into building the list.
Yeah,
there was at one point I had 2 normal Sakarans in the Arcus and a Venator Sakaran and the Arcus and things like that, but none of it kind of tickled my tootsies quite as much as having the standard Arcus alongside the standard against the Arcus.
Yeah, I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, okay. I mean, what's that? 230 points, isn't it, for the Arcus with the last cannons and the array and that? So yeah,
200. Well, yeah, 250 odd. It's 215 for the Arcus, sponsor and last cannons, 225, 230, 245. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the lack of scoring would be your downside there. I think if you would just possibly ignore that and just take the 2 recon squads out, which aren't, I mean, they are kind of slightly better, but they're not super survivable. And you'll probably have to push them forward with the infiltrate, which could put them in danger of early charges.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got other things to deal with.
And also I've got the White Scars ability where I can re-roll for my initiative to take the first turn. So
yeah, all right.
Yeah, I've got the potential to be able to utilize them before problems come back.
All right. What's the scores and the doors then? So, as always, we do this on 3 things. We have the army's theme. So, does it meet the theme of the brief, i.e., a White Scars army?
Last time,
is it effective, and how much does it cost? So, those are our 3 criteria.
Okay.
So, in terms of theme, last time I threw my toys out the pram. In fact, it has an allied detachment, which I'm still going to stick to my guns on, and I think we should make a ruling. I'll allow this one, but going forward, it has to be the Sigma. unless we're asking for a
There
specific
are
list of
times
allies.
when allies make sense thematically. Like, for example, if you're taking that particular rite of war with the Sons of Horus, then it absolutely makes sense to have allies. But
does that mean you can't take an Opte or whatever it is?
No, I think you can only take your detachment. You can only take one detachment. You can take Lords of War, but you can't take a large detachment.
But at the same time, it's like White Scars with Imperial Fists. If it's a Siege of Terror themed
We've
list,
just spent 3 hours talking about White Scars, and now you're throwing in Imperial Fists. And the effective part of the army is the Imperial Fist.
However, I do think that your list, Graham, is a bit more thematic than Chris's.
Yours is more White Scar than mine, absolutely. Yeah. I think yours fulfills the theme of the Sagan Mizir perfectly. Can't dispute.
So I would give it to Mr. B, and this is only because of the allies thing. I still think the most effective army is, out of the two of you, is Chris's. Just, I mean, it is deep striking, which is risky as F.
Oh yeah, I think
I'm now sort of rereading it. It's closer than I thought.
I would.
Anyway, what's your vote for theme, Chris?
I would go with you because yours fulfills more of the Sagan Mizir criteria than I think Mr. B's does.
Fair enough. I mean,
that
changes it from last time where it was me that got it, but I mean we're redoing it, so it's all good.
It's not a lot, but those having those big Terminator squads, I think, for what you're trying to put across, it's difficult because you've got the despoilers in your one as well. But I would just go with the Ebon Keshi because they tie in more rules wise with the Sagan Mizan than your one, Mr. B.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
In terms of effectiveness, I think Chris's is more effective. And don't get me wrong, I think it's a good list. When I'm kind of make this point, it's not a bad list or anything like that. It's just you've added something in there. But I think the idea of having the recon company scouting forward, identifying targets for a strike force of Imperial Fists is very cool. And it's very effective. But it is deep striking, which, if somebody's just sitting there with augury scanners up the wazoo, it's going to struggle. But I still think it's probably...
I do think it is the most effective, so...
Yes, they're going to win on effectiveness. And
what would Chris be voting for, though, for effectiveness?
Oh, yeah.
Between you two, Mr. B would get my vote.
Yeah,
he can answer more questions effectively than you can.
I agree, 100%.
Okay, so...
But it's much closer between you and Mr. B than it was when we first did this, because I understand it a bit better, but I still think yours just about.
I mean, 11 guys with a mixture of Thunderhammers and Sodrite Power Gauntlets are going to, straight plus invulnerable saves are going to cause an
They are going to cause it. Yep, that's good.
And then costs. Last time, Chris got effectiveness last time.
Yep. And then costs haven't changed. So mine was, because there's a lot of resin in there, the Ebon Keshik, for example. Mm-hmm. The skimmer is resin, figures are resin, there's a lot of resin there, not a lot of plastic. Yeah. So £1,002 was mine.
Mine rocks in. I know that mine is more expensive than Mr. B's. I
think yours was about £25 more, so about 960, something like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've lost the Excel document. I've costed it all out.
That's all right. But, I mean, mine came
Mr. B is the
942, but 20 despoilers means you need 40 despoiler means you need 4 of the melee weapon packs.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's just things like that where it just adds up. That's super quick.
120 quid, I think it is.
Just an extras, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, that's the thing, so I've got to find, a load of lightning claws for the bloody Falcon.
It's one way
Falcon's claws
and find right-sized lightning claws. So it might be an Etsy job or finding someone who can 3D model it for you.
Yeah, I think there are lots of costs in the end. Say the Arcus is not a cheap model.
No, it isn't. It isn't. But again, it is. If I would be tempted to find a 3D printable one or something off Etsy for that, and just buy a standard Sakaran.
It's not how the rules
I know
work.
it's not how we print it, but I'm talking. I'm saying in real life, that's what I would do.
Yeah, absolutely. So that, I think, by my maths, means that
it's a 3-way draw.
It's a 3-way draw. We need to come up with a tiebreaker at some point. But yeah, nice.
I think maybe people can be the final judges there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Let us know. But I think they're all. I think 3 good, interesting lists. I think you guys, despite using the same criteria, came up with very different approaches to it, which is good.
Nobody used the sort of.
Everyone used the Gorian Brotherhood.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Even he said it was probably the best one. So yeah, nice to do something different with that army.
I think sometimes certain rules and things just don't appeal necessarily. It didn't. I didn't look at it and when I was list building think, yeah, I want to do an all jet bike list. If that makes sense. It just didn't.
Yeah.
Very good. I
Okay.
Couldn't find the fun per se in it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's move on to the close and we can get the hell out of Dodge.
Just bring up the slide. Okay, for some reason the music didn't play there during the thing. I'll have to fix that for next time. But right, closing up the show. So who's responsible for that tonight? It'll be me. Okay, so yeah, great. I hope we've got a bit of more of a idea of the Imperial Fists.
That's it. That's all the plan. That's all my game plan ever is. It's just get the subconscious there.
So if you've enjoyed the show, please leave us some reviews on iTunes, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. We have links in the show notes. Give the page a like too. No reason than to let us know what we're doing. If you want to get in touch, you can do so. You can post on our Facebook wall, send a message to there, or email us at info@edgeofempire.co.uk. And if you want to help out the show, we have an affiliate link with Audible, so you can sign up and get your Horus Heresy audiobooks through them with a month's free trial. And after that, it's $7.99 a month for an audiobook. And all the Black Library books are there, including Interceptor City, which I'm very excited to listen to. I'm going to listen to that one. That's just come out on Saturday. You can also become a Patreon of the show and pop a couple of dollars in our tip jar, for which we'll be eternally grateful, or even buy us a Ko-fi. And we also have affiliate links with Element Games, so you can get your wargaming toys through there, and we'll get a little kickback, and they help keep the lights on. And we also have crystal codes, which means you get double crystals and we get normal crystals. Put these in the show notes, but Chris's is CHR211, Graham's is GRA2794, and mine is MIC440. And there's also an affiliate link with the Outpost on the website as well, which is a nice little friendly local gaming store in Sheffield. So what we're up to next episode, it'll be sort of what we've been up to, State of the Union, stuff like that.
Yep, general roundup. We've got some events coming up soon as well.
I very much enjoyed the White Scars.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were good fun. I think they're an interesting army. I think I would definitely... They've always been in the back of my mind as an option.
You kind of need them for your Siege of Terror.
I do need them for my Siege of Terror triumvirate.
Yes.
Yeah, this has not dissuaded me in any way whatsoever.
No, I'm kind of more inclined to do than that than I was before, to be honest.
It's just looking at 4250 for 3 Sky Hunters. I'm just like...
terrible.
It's not going to happen for a while, but I'm not.
So at the moment, it's either them or Black Shields. It's basically where I'm at, and I've got some bikes to start the ball rolling. So
yeah,
we shall see.
We shall see.
All right. Well, anyway, next month, like I say, we'll do our normal roundup of things. I think we were also going to potentially look at doing a review of the different list building apps.
Yes.
So, because Mr. B's been harking on about the wonders of the new kid on the block,
New Recruit, I find it quite good.
New Recruit. Obviously, there's Battlescribe and Quartermaster for those in Apple World. So maybe we'll give those a review and see what we think is the best one of those for 30k.
Yep.
But other than that, we look forward very much to having your company next month or when we next record. And we shall, as always, give us an email if there's anything you want us to talk about or discuss.
Perfect. Right.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, folks. Bye.
Levels.